Welcome everyone to Jimmy John's Field on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here on this game between the 4-4 Utica Unicorns and the 6-2 Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The Eastside Diamond Hoppers are the best team in the league right now, Dan, and
sure are.
On the mound for both teams is pitchers who have only pitched in relief so far this season.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see that. Filling up this lineup card today, seeing Devin Alexander, the left-hander, and also the other left-hander, Brandon Nagum, going at it.
Yeah, Brandon Nagum has done a phenomenal job so far this season. He only has pitched 8 innings, but all in relief, and only has given up. He only has a 1.13 ERA and a .5 WHIP, which means he only has had a base runner in 4 of the 8 innings he has pitched. He's done a phenomenal job. He has no decisions as of yet, so he's 0-0. Meanwhile, Devin Alexander has a 3.12 ERA, which is solid in its own right. It's very good. And a 1.5 WHIP. He struck out 6 across the 8 and 2/3 innings he's pitched, and he does have a decision of his own. He actually is 1-0 on the season.
Yes, he is. And Nagum, that's how I remember him, is when he came in and did 4 shutout innings, that is.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job in relief for the Unicorns, and that's proven by the fact that he's getting a chance to start today. And it's a beautiful day out today.
It sure
it's
is.
74 degrees, partly cloudy. It was a little cloudier earlier, and now it's mostly sunshine.
So beautiful.
So it's just a great day overall for baseball. Yesterday it was about, what, that's 5-6 degrees cooler?
Yeah, it was.
But like yesterday, there was a shadow casting across home plate. Last time these two teams met up, Dan, it was an extra inning thriller.
Yes, it was.
In the bottom of the ninth, the Utica Unicorns tied it up, but then Brandon O'Brien in the bottom half of the 10th inning walked off on an RBI fielder's choice.
And maybe we'll see another thrower this evening.
Well, unfortunately, Brandon O'Brien is not in for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers today. Instead, playing left field is Chris Power. And Chris Power played center field last time these two teams played.
Yeah. So it's going to be a huge game. Last night, of course, the Utica Unicorns fell short.
Yes.
But we'll have to wait and see what really happens tonight. It was weird just to see them in the, actually, who gave up those 12 consecutive walks. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Brandon Nagum, as you mentioned, had gone how many consecutive innings? What was the stat you had?
Oh, I just read about last night how the Utica Unicorns were able to. I'm surprised that they lost last night because in that one inning for the Woolly Mammoths, Joe Sharon threw 12 consecutive balls. And then it was a thrower in the end because they got the bases loaded, jammed the Utica Unicorns. But unfortunately, Travis McQueen came in, which I call now Lightning McQueen. Yeah. And he shut the door on him.
Yesterday the Utica Unicorns had a chance to tie the ball game.
Yeah.
They were down by 2 runs in the bottom half of the 9th inning, and they called in Travis McQueen to finish the game off because Sharon couldn't get the job done. He did 12 straight balls, like you had mentioned, and 4 consecutive walks. Travis McQueen comes in and works his way out, getting 3 consecutive outs. So with bases loaded and no outs, the Utica Unicorns walked off with the loss. And I'm sure they're coming out today, get a little bit of revenge.
Yes, they are.
But today's Saturday, which means it's tribute band night. We got WCSX here, and tonight's tribute band is a Van Halen tribute band.
My favorite.
They call themselves Han Valen, as if they couldn't make it more obvious who their tribute band for.
Hey, Van Halen's a great artist. A lot of great songs from him.
I mentioned previously yesterday and last week when we were talking about it how Van Halen. This is the tribute band I was most looking forward to.
Yes.
Because I have a Van Halen. It's a 2-part CD, greatest hits.
Ooh.
So
I think my dad does too. He tapes a lot of classic rock concerts that are on TV, and he probably has several of them for Van Halen.
Yeah, Eddie Van Halen. I think when I fell in love with him was his song that was just pure guitar solo, Eruption. It really showcased his just pure talent.
Exactly. What did you say your favorite song was from him?
Eruption.
Eruption? Okay. I like Panama and Right Now.
Right now is really good. I think What Is Love is,
Ooh, there you go.
or Why Can't This Be Love?
Why Can't This Be Love? That's another good one. Yeah, it got that little beat in the beginning, and it leads into the song. That's awesome.
So we are just a few moments from the lineups, and so we will send it down to the field for that and the national anthem.
For tonight's game. Let's give them a big hand for these wonderful women and people. Ladies and gentlemen, on Van Halen Tribute Night, get ready to jump because it is time for baseball. First, let's welcome the visiting team, the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, managed by Paul Nochi. The starting lineups for today's game are sponsored by AAA of Michigan. Leading off and batting first from Pleasanton, California, the center fielder number 13, Joe Maroney. Batting second from the Dominican Republic, the shortstop number 7, Ricky Castro. Batting third from Lumberton, North Carolina, the left fielder number 22, Chris Power. Batting fourth from Toll House, California, the third baseman number 5, Casey Chenoweth. Batting fifth from Virginia Beach, Virginia, the second baseman number 2, Pam Stewart. Batting sixth from Brooklyn, New York, the first baseman number 21, Esteban Gomez. Batting seventh from Lynbrook, New York, the designated hitter tonight, number 10, Brian Colello. Batting eighth from Draper, Utah, the right fielder making his USPBL debut, number 8, Mark Kruger. Batting ninth from Tallahassee, Florida, the catcher, number 4, Kyle Figueroa. And the starting pitcher tonight for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers from Concord, California, number 6, Devin Alexander. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any Unicorn fans in the house tonight? Yeah! Okay, it's time to bring out your home team, the Utica Unicorns, managed by Jim Essien. Leading off and batting first from Fraser, Michigan, third baseman number 19, Taylor Galikowski. Batting second from Phoenix, Arizona, the second baseman number 9, Luke Doyle. Batting third from Dallas, Texas, center fielder number 10, Brandon Raw. Batting fourth from Bay Shore, New York, the right fielder number 4, Chris Cruz. Batting fifth from Grayson, Georgia, the first baseman number 44, Clay Arteezer. Batting sixth from Brownstown, Michigan, tonight's designated hitter, number 24, Igor Lolio. Batting seventh from Chicago, Illinois, the shortstop, number 2, Quinton Alexander. Batting eighth from Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, the left fielder, number 22, Nick Todero. Batting ninth from Cheshire, Connecticut, the catcher, number 6, Timothy Budd. The starting pitcher tonight for the Utica Unicorns from Pensacola, Florida, number 14, Brandon Nagum. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats. Veterans and active military may keep your hats on while rendering the hand salute, as we honor America and our military with the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by the Armada Choir.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
job. Let's give him an hand.
Welcome back, everyone. In case you missed it, I'll go through the lineups for the Hoppers one more time since they're going to start off the top of the first inning. Batting first, the center fielder, number 13, Joe Maroney. Batting second, the shortstop, number 7, Ricky Castro. Batting third, the left fielder, number 22, Chris Power. Batting fourth, the third baseman, number 5, Casey Chenoweth. Batting sixth, the second baseman, number 2, Cam Stewart. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 21, Esteban Gomez. Batting seventh, the DH, number 10, Brian Bilello. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 8, Mark Kruger. And batting the ninth spot is the catcher, number 4, Kyle Figueroa. And on the defensive side of things, you have your starting pitcher is Brandon Nagum, who has the aforementioned 1.13 ERA. Your catcher is Timothy Budd. Your first baseman is Clay Artizer. You got Luke Doyle over there at second base. Quentin Alexander at shortstop. Taylor Galikowski at third base. Nick Tadero mans the left field. Brandon Raw is out in center field. And Chris Cruz is protecting right field. And so we were just a few moments now from the first pitch as Brandon Nagum finishes up his warm-up pitches.
And the national anthem was sung by Armada Choir. They did a great job.
Yes, they did a very good job. Leading off for the Hoppers today is Joe Maroney. And Dan, last time out, Joe Maroney was only 1 for 3 in the game. He had a bunt single and a walk.
Yeah, that was against the Unicorns.
And he batted in the second spot, but he's batting in the first spot today. So clearly his manager has faith in his ability.
He didn't do too much on Thursday night when we seen him. He flew out to right field, flew out to right field again, and struck out twice. So hopefully he turns his game around here.
As Joe Maroney is going to step into the batter's box here. So just a few moments now from the first pitch. Joe Maroney's hitting a 148 on the season as the first pitch comes in. Called a strike. So it's going to be 0-1 on Joe Maroney. First pitch comes at 7:03 p.m.
I'm telling you, Brian, it's kind of weird seeing Nagum on the starting row.
I like it, though. He's performed well in relief, so now that he's going to get a chance to see what he can do now in the starting position. As it's 0-2 quickly on Joe Maroney.
Beautiful evening. Jimmy John's Field is packed tonight.
Yeah, it's very full today as the 0-2 pitch comes in. Ball low, 1-2. It was pretty full yesterday, too, but even more so on Saturday, obviously because it's the weekend and a lot more people have time off as the 1-2 pitch comes in. Swung on and missed, so it didn't take long for Brandon Nagum to rack up his first strikeout of the evening as he gets Joe Maroney in 4 pitches.
And that will be his 7th strikeout of the season.
Yes, you're right. And now Ricky Castro will step into the batter's box. He is batting .379 on the season. Very, very strong start as he shows bunt, but bunts it foul, so 0-1 on him now.
Thursday evening, Ricky Castro was only on base once. Grounded out the other 2 times.
Yeah, the last time these two teams played each other, he had 2 singles and walked once. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, swung on and hit foul, so 0-2. Kind of just chopped at it. 74 degrees on this Saturday to start the game. It's supposed to get into the 60s by the time these games usually end. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. 1-2 now on Ricky Castro.
In case you all weren't able to make it to the ballpark last night, we had great fireworks, which we have every Friday night.
Yeah, they're always impressive. They do a good job here as that ball's grounded. Going to stay on the foul line, and they're going to tag him out. That ball really just kind of skirted it the whole way down. and he's going to be tagged out. So 2 quick outs now for Brandon Nagum. I was waiting for that ball, Dan, to go foul. I thought for sure it was, but it rolled down on top of the foul line on the first base side the entire way down, and Clay Artizer ended up picking it up and just tagging him out. Ricky Castro tried to do a really roundabout jump out of the way, but just was not successful in that attempt. As Chris Power steps in now. First pitch he takes, so it's going to be 0-1 on him. Chris Power, the last time these two teams played each other, had 2 singles and a sac bunt. Be 1-1 on Chris Power now.
And Thursday evening, Power did have a home run, which he hit to right field.
Yeah, he definitely displayed his, wait for it, power that day. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that one. You can't have a last name like Power and not expect me to use that pun, as it's 1-2 on Chris Power now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to be low and outside, 2-2 now, as Timothy Butt asks for a new ball. Yeah, Chris Power's only hitting .226, but has 3 home runs. So when he does get on base, he shows power as that ball's hit into the gap in the right field. And Cruz is going to cut it off. And Power's going to try for 2, and he's going to get in there successfully. So that's going to be a double.
There's the Power, Brian.
Yeah, with 2 outs, Chris Power gets a double to give his team a chance to get the lead in the game. So now Casey Chenoweth will step in with a chance to give his team the lead. 2 outs and a man on second. As every man has a Van Halen walk-up song today.
Which is beautiful.
We do that every Saturday when we have a tribute band. We always have a walk-up song from that specific band. Here comes the first pitch to Casey Chenoweth. He swings and misses at that one, so it's 0-1 quickly on him. He's only batting .188 on the season, but does have a home run. If I recall correctly, wasn't it him who had the first home run of the season?
Yes, he was.
For the whole league?
Yes, it was.
And that one's grounded over to third base. Galikowski has it and throws over to Artizer and beats Casey Chenoweth. So it's after Chris Power gets a 2-out double. Brandon Nagum quickly turns around and grounds out the next batter in Chenoweth. So we're going to go to the bottom of the first inning, where due up for the Utica Unicorns will be Taylor Galikowski, the third baseman, Luke Doyle, the second baseman, and Brandon Raw, the center fielder. So we will be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the first inning. To quickly go through the Utica Unicorns starting lineup, batting first is the third baseman, number 19, Taylor Galikowski. Batting second is the second baseman, number 9, Luke Doyle. Batting third is the center fielder, number 10, Brandon Raw. Batting fourth is the right fielder, number 4, Chris Cruz. Batting fifth is the first baseman, Clay Artizer. Batting sixth is the DH, number 24, Nico Lalio. Batting seventh is the shortstop, number 2, Quentin Alexander. Batting eighth is the left fielder, number 22, Nick Tadero. And batting in the ninth spot is the catcher, number 6, Timothy Budd. Taylor Galikowski steps in now for the first at-bat for the Unicorns today.
The Fraser, Michigan native.
Yep, and he takes for a ball, 1-0. He has 3 home runs in his young season. He's only played a few games so far. And he's batting .286. As it's 2-0 now on Taylor Galikowski.
Galikowski played his college ball at Madonna University.
Did he not? I did not know that.
Sure did.
It's 2-1 now on Taylor Galikowski.
Well, I should say now you know.
Yeah. Well, you learn something new every day. I guess that is the one thing I learn. I restrict myself to one thing, though. I don't want to overload myself. As that ball's going to be inside. 3-1 now on him. It makes me feel bad that you didn't laugh at that, Dan. Oh, no, see, that's a pity laugh. You can't laugh now.
Sorry.
Here comes the 3-1 pitch, and he's going to ground that one over to the shortstop, Castro. He has a little bit of trouble handling it, but he still manages to throw out Artizer. So it's going to be 1 out for Devin Alexander here in the bottom of the first inning.
Next up, the second baseman, number 9, Luke Doyle.
So now Luke Doyle will stand in.
Quickly, some facts about Devin Alexander. He's from Concord, California, and did his college ball out of Sonoma State University. And of course, he's a lefty.
Luke Doyle's last time out playing against the Diamond Hoppers went 1 for 3 with a single and a walk.
Advance currently, Luke is leading the Unicorns in hitting with a .367.
And it's 0-1 on Luke Doyle. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be in there for a strike. 0-2 now on Luke Doyle.
Luke Doyle last night hit for a single to center field back in the first, and he walked twice.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Outside. Figueroa had to slide and try to stop that one.
Slide step.
So it'll be 1-2 now on him. Luke Doyle is a left-handed batter. Each team has a couple of those in their lineup.
Lefty first lefty.
As the 1-2 pitch comes in and he swings and fouls that one over to the Hoppers dugout. So it will remain 1-2 with 1 out. Luke Doyle waits for the 1-2 pitch. And Alexander delivers, and he's going to foul tip that one into the netting behind home plate.
That long stretch netting.
Yeah, that netting stretches from all the way from section 101 to 107, which is the entirety of the grandstand. Here comes the 1-2 pitch again, and he's going to foul tip that one again into the netting behind. So 2 batters in, and Luke Doyle is giving Devin Alexander a little bit of a battle here to get him out. He's thrown 7 pitches in this at-bat. Luke Doyle definitely does not want to go down without a fight, and I mean, when you're batting .367 with 11 hits, I guess that's to be expected.
Yep.
As the 1-2 comes in again, and he swings and foul tips this one. This time he's going to hit it all the way down to the Hoppers dugout. So that'll be the 8th pitch of the at-bat.
Doyle is basically saying, I'm not going away that easy.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch yet again, and that one's going to be high. So now the count is even at 2-2. Devin Alexander playing in 3 games this season, all in relief, as another one's fouled off, and that'd be the 10th pitch in this at-bat.
Great battle.
Yes, it is. Like you said, Dan, lefty versus lefty. Devin Alexander has 6 strikeouts in his 8 2/3 innings pitched this season. And 5 walks, though, which is something you want to keep down. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. He's going to fly this one down the right field line. And that ball's going to be foul.
Just has to straighten it out.
He got a lot on that one, but it was just foul down there by the right field foul pole. He got a lot on that one, just a little bit too early, as he flies this one into the netting, left of home plate. And I think that's the 11th or 12th pitch now. I think it's the 12th.
Yeah, it's been a lot of pitches here.
And that's something Devin Alexander wants to watch out. You can't have too many battles that go on like this, or else you're not going to be in the game very long. And here comes the 2-2 pitch, and he's going to fly this one into the netting behind home plate. So I'm losing space on my scorecard to keep track of his pitches.
This has been a long battle.
Yes, it has. As that ball's going to be called a ball, so now it's going to go full 3-2. Fantastic job by Luke Doyle, just staying alive here.
And you're always taught as a batter to be patient.
And he's showing fantastic patience today. Only has 3 walks on the season as the 3-2 pitch comes in. Outside. Fantastic job by Luke Doyle.
Yeah.
Just stay alive and eventually forced Devin Alexander's hands and drew a walk.
And he gets a cheer from the crowd.
A much-deserved cheer as Brendan Ross steps in. Now he has a man on first with only 1 out. So the double play is an option for Devin Alexander. But you have to watch out as Luke Doyle has speed on the base paths as well. And that was a 15-pitch at bat. And you generally want to stay to 15 pitches an inning, and it just took 1 at bat, and he didn't even get the result he wanted. As Brendan Raw fans and misses.
Yeah, Nagin only threw 16 in the first, on top of this inning.
So it'll be 0-1. How many was that? So
Nagin only threw 16 in the top half of the
first. Which is pretty much ideal.
Yeah.
And the 0-1 comes in, and he swings and fouls this one way above the stands. So 0-2. And Brendan Ross hitting .273 on the season with 2 home runs. And I have to correct myself. Earlier, I said that Chenoweth hit the first home run of the season. Actually, it was Brendan Raw. Then Chenoweth answered with one of his own later in that same ball game. Here was the 0-2 pitch. Going to be a high, 1-2.
Now I know something new.
Yeah. It's a long season, so sometimes it can be hard to remember.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. I had the right ball game, just the wrong player. Chenoweth hit the second home run of the season. And he throws over to first just to keep Luke Doyle from trying anything funny. Luke Doyle, as a second baseman, has a good amount of speed, so you want to keep an eye on him. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and it's going to be outside. Count is even at 2-2 now.
That was his 23rd pitch of the inning.
Yeah, it's something he's going to want to make sure he doesn't let happen too often. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and he's going to drive this one over the head of Stewart, and it's going to be a base hit. So we're going to have everyone safe, first and second base now, with only 1 out in the bottom half of the first inning. So now the Unicorns have a chance to do some damage here with only 1 out and get the first lead of the ball game. Chris Cruz will step in now, hitting only .200 on the season. There's a quick meeting at the mound. between Figueroa and Alexander, but it's already over with.
Last night, Chris Cruz had 2 hits, and one was for an RBI back in the 8th.
Yeah, the last time these two teams faced each other, he had an RBI as well and a ground out. So he has half of his RBIs against the Hoppers on the season, as he only has 4. And the first pitch to Chris Cruz is in, and it's down low for a ball. 1-0 now. It's a lefty versus lefty matchup today, as Nagum and Alexander are both lefties. And that pitch is in for a ball or a strike, 1-1.
That's what I like to see.
And here comes the 1-1 pitch. Gonna be outside, 2-1. And the stands continue to fill here at Jimmy John's Field, and it's turning out into a fantastic turnout, as almost about 99% of the seats are filled with just the occasional empty one.
It's a beautiful weekend we're having here.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a beautiful weekend we're having here, and of course the Tigers are out of town, so why not come to the ballpark that's close to home?
And it's 3-1 now on Chris Cruz. The Tigers playing a tough doubleheader today. Lost the first one, but John Hicks has hit a home run already. Here comes a 3-1 pitch, and he's going to swing and tip that one. Foul. So 3-2 now. The second full count of the inning for Devin Alexander. The first one came in that 15-pitch at bat against Luke Doyle that resulted in a walk. So runners at first and second with 1 out. Full count on Chris Cruz. Here comes the pitch, and he's going to swing and fly this one into foul territory. Figueroa runs over, but he's going to run out of room as that ball's going to be foul.
You can kind of get a hint that Devin Alexander won't last that long in this ball game.
Well, it's still possible that he has a couple quick innings after this, but
you never know.
If the pitching battles keep turning out like this, then yeah, it might be a short outing for him. Here comes the 3-2 pitch, and that's going to be outside, so he's going to walk. The bases loaded here. So with 1 out, and the bases are now loaded. So Clay Ardeezer, the first baseman, will step in today. He hit a long home run yesterday.
Yeah, that baby was long gone.
Which helped, at the time, give the Unicorns the lead, but ultimately they lost to the Westside Woolly Mammoths.
Let's see if the Unicorns can capitalize on this bases loaded,
yeah,
unlike last night.
Yes, as that first pitch is going to be outside 1-0. Yeah, like you mentioned, Dan, yesterday they had the bases loaded with no outs in the bottom of the ninth, and we're down 2 runs and couldn't capitalize as Travis McQueen shut them down.
Lightning McQueen.
And here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be inside as he had to watch himself, try to avoid getting hit with that pitch. And be 2-0 on Clay Ardeezer. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Be 2-1 now on Clay Ardeezer. Clay Ardeezer is hitting .333 on the season.
Has 9 hits.
Yes, he does. As he flies that one into foul territory by the third base line. So it's going to be 2-2 on him now. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Outside for a ball, so it's the third full count of the inning. And Devin Alexander is going to try here to avoid walking in a run.
And the Jaws theme in the background.
Yes, the Jaws team that plays when every time there's a full count. Third time this inning we've heard it as he drives this one into center field. But Maroney's going to get over this, but Luke Doyle's going to tag up and score from third base, so the Utica Unicorns get the first lead of the ball game on a Clay Artizer sac fly.
A lot of Utica Unicorn fans out here this evening.
They come out in full every game. They come to support their defending champions. So now Nico Lolio will step in.
And Nico Lolio also had a home run last night to right field, and that baby was long gone as well. That was back in the third.
So today he looks to continue to do the damage as we have runners at first and second with only one out, or two outs, my apologies. And the first pitch to him is going to be a strike. He's batting 185 on the season. His only home run in the season came yesterday. And that's going to be in for a strike as well. 0-2 on him now. Last time these two teams faced, he went 1 for 3 with a single and an RBI. He drew a walk as well in that ball game as he checks his swing, but he went. So it's going to be a strikeout at the end of the inning, but the Utica Unicorns do damage first as they lead 1-0 going to the top of the second inning on a Clay Artizer sac fly to Joe Maroney. So due up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the top of the second inning is the number 5 hitter and second baseman, Cam Stewart. Following him is Esteban Gomez and the DH, Brian Bilello. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top of the second inning. Cam Stewart due up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. The Diamond Hoppers look to retaliate after the Utica Unicorns got the lead last half inning 1-0 on a Clay Artizer sac fly to center field.
But before we start this inning, we got to wait till the fans exit the field.
Exit stage right, I
Looks
believe
like
it is
it's
called.
Nurse Appreciation Night, too.
Yeah, I believe so. I heard before the game started they were calling all nurses over to the bullpen gate.
You got to show them appreciation as well.
I think
They do a great job.
I'm not 100% confident that's what they are, but taking a peek through my binoculars down by the bullpen where they're all filing out, they look a little old to be high school students.
Yeah.
They look like they should be. They could be nurses.
And Ribby, the mascot for the Diamond Hoppers, making its rounds to the fans.
I wonder if my buddy Troy is amongst all of those.
It's up to you. I don't know.
I'll have to text him and find out. So as we finish waiting for them to file off the field, Cam Stewart is waiting. And Cam Stewart is hitting .258 on the season. Has 3 RBIs.
And we appreciate all of you for tuning in tonight's broadcast.
Last time these teams played each other, he had a double, and that was it. He went 0 for 4. He got a walk, though, as the first pitch to him is called a strike.
Cam Stewart, Thursday evening.
As he grounds that one over to Galikowski. Sorry, Dan.
Sorry,
and he
you're
goes
good.
over to Artizer. So it's going to be one quick out for Brandon Nagum. Go ahead.
I was just going to mention that he did have a hit Thursday evening and had an RBI, so there you go.
Didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, you're okay.
there's actioning happened on the field, so.
It's all good.
As Ribby is down beneath us here, interacting with the fans, interacting with a young girl. Always nice to see. Getting a picture taken. As Esteban Gomez takes his first pitch. Going to be called a ball, 1-0 on him.
At least it's not that hot of an evening.
No, it's like perfect temperature in my opinion, 74 degrees. As he swings and misses at that one. 1-1 now. And it's gonna get a little cooler tonight, but 60. It's gonna get to the mid 60s, so it's not gonna be too bad. It's not jacket weather. As the 1-1 pitch comes in, gonna hit the outside corner for a strike. 1-2 now. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And he's going to fly this one to center field. Brennan Raw backs up but is able to get underneath it. So 2 quick outs now for Brendan Nagum as he continues to knock him down.
That's one way to keep your pitch count low.
Well, he doesn't really get a whole lot of strikeouts. As Steve, our writer, was mentioning during the break, he does a very good job of getting groundouts and flyouts.
I think he mentioned he's crafty.
Yeah, very crafty. I thought he said something else when he said it at first. Brian Bilello stands in, hitting just a measly .071 on the season. He takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And he grounds that one over to the shortstop, or actually cut off by Galikowski. Throws down to Artizer. So it's going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Brandon Nagum as he keeps that pitch count very, very low.
He sure does.
And he just continues to do well. The only damage done to him was a double that didn't do anything. So we go to the bottom half of the second inning where the Unicorns are up. Batting for them is the shortstop Quentin Alexander. Following him is the left fielder Nick Tadero and the catcher Timothy Budd. So we will be back with you shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to this game between the Unicorns and the Hoppers. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here. And Quentin Alexander is going to lead off for the Utica Unicorns here.
Quentin Alexander, we seen him last night. He pinched hit for Nick Tordero.
Yes, he did.
Walked twice.
I mean, he did his job. As we wait for the first pitch to him, he called time while Devin Alexander was going through his motion, so he couldn't pull the pitch back. The first one to him is going to be a strike, 0-1.
It was a rough last time for Alexander.
Which Alexander?
Devin.
Okay, the pitcher.
It was rough
The
going.
batter and the pitcher are both Alexander right now. It's 1-1 on Quentin Alexander. You're talking about the last inning where he had like 40 pitches. 1-2 on Quentin Alexander, as that one is called a strike.
But was only able to give up one run in that bases loaded jam by the Utica Unicorns.
1-2 pitches swung on him. Oh no, foul tipped off of Figueroa. Thought he missed on it, but the obvious painful reaction by Figueroa told me otherwise. Looks like it went off his ankle or something, and he's hobbling around. Looks like he's okay, though. Trainer's coming out anyways. He's still not putting full weight on it. Yes, as you were saying, Dan, I know it's a little bit late. You just mentioned it like a minute ago. But he threw 40 pitches in that last inning. But he only gave up one run, which Unicorns must be pretty frustrated at that as well, because they had bases loaded with, I think, only one out.
Yeah, these Unicorns been struggling all season long, leaving men on base. And
as that one is swung on and missed, but got away from Figueroa, not far, so he's able to corral it and throw down to Gomez for the first out of the inning.
I shouldn't say all season long, just to start the season, that is.
Well, especially this weekend. Like we mentioned yesterday, like for the fifth time, they had bases loaded with no outs in the bottom of the ninth, and they couldn't drive anything home, and that's like a crucial situation. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't do anything about it.
But they do have the lead here.
They have the lead here, but they probably wish they would have gotten more, as the first ball to Nick Todaro is called for a strike, 0-1. Nick Todaro and Taylor Galikowski switched positions in the defense sides of things today, as that ball is driven to center field, not very deep, as Joe Maroney is able to get underneath it and get the out. Because yesterday, Todaro played third and Galikowski played left field, and today, Todaro's playing left field and Galikowski's playing third.
Sometimes you gotta change it up.
I'm wondering what the thinking was going behind that. Maybe just to give them different looks in different positions, see what they do better.
I'm thinking.
As Timothy Budd steps in, hitting .308 on the season. No RBIs to speak of, though.
Does have 4 hits.
And he takes for a ball. And he swings on the second pitch and into foul territory. Figueroa is going to go over to try and catch it, but it's going to be in the stands. Timothy Budd did not play last time these two teams faced each other.
And he wasn't in the lineup Thursday evening as well. So, we're seeing him for the first time in a while.
And the 1-1 pitch is in. Going to be a ball. 2-1 on Timothy Budd.
Sometimes you gotta give your catcher, your starting catcher that is, a day off.
As that ball's fouled in the netting. So 2-2 now on Timothy Budd. As the 2-2 pitch comes in, he swings and he's going to drive this one fouled on the first base line. So it's going to remain 2-2. 2 outs in the bottom half of the second here with no men on. But the Unicorns do lead it 1-0. As a 2-2 pitch comes in, and he swings and tips that one in the netting behind home plate. That ball is really inside, but he swung nonetheless. Looked like he was just trying to stay alive on that swing. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, and it is foul, flown foul into the stands yet again. So Timothy Budd putting up a bit of a fight here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. As the pitch comes in and he flies this one. This one might be playable as Figueroa rips off his mask and runs over there. And, oh, he could not make the catch on the warning track down the first base line.
He stumbled over his own footing there.
It looked like he wasn't sure whether to dive for it or not. Ended up kind of, like you said, kind of looked like he stumbled. But he wasn't able to make the catch. It looked playable.
We're seeing a quite battle here between Alexander and Bud. And last inning that is, we seen, I believe it was Doyle and him going at it.
Yeah, it was Doyle who had a 15 pitch at bat.
Yeah. So.
And that resulted in a walk. Here comes the 2-2 yet again. That one's called for a strike, so he strikes him out looking. The fans don't agree with that, and neither does Timothy Budd, as he has words to say to the ump, but ultimately returns to his dugout.
It did look outside.
So after a long first inning, Devin Alexander comes out and goes 1-2-3 in the second. But it's still going to be a 1-0 lead for the Unicorns, going to the top half of the third inning. Leading off for them is the number 8 hitter and right fielder, Mark Kruger, his first game in the USPBL. And following him is Kyle Figueroa and the number 1 spot, Joe Maroney. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top of the second inning where Mark Kruger leads off the top half of the third. His first at-bat in the USPBL and his debut for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers.
Welcome to the league, Kruger.
And the first pitch to him is a strike, 0-1.
He's from Utah.
What is in Utah? It's a potato state, isn't it?
No, it's Idaho.
That's Idaho, you're right. They have the Salt Lake City. Here's the
There you
0-1
go.
pitch, and he's going to fly that one foul down the third base line.
You got the Utah Jazz.
That's right. I always found it odd that Utah had the Jazz. Like, I just can't see any of Utah being really able to support a professional team. But I guess the Salt Lake City is a pretty big team, a pretty big city. As the 0-2 pitch comes in, outside for a ball. 1-2 now on Mark Kruger. Mark Kruger's your right fielder today for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that ball is going to be grounded over to the second baseman, Doyle. He's going to toss over to Ardizer and get him out. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer to see Mark Kruger's first hit of the season.
It didn't take long for Gradkowski when he made his debut a couple weeks ago.
No, he's already got, I think, 3 home runs on the season?
Yeah. So Kruger, there's a lot left game left. here. So anytime it can
He'll
happen.
he'll have at least 2 more at bats, I have to imagine. So he's got plenty of time to get his first hit, first on base, whatever you want to call it, as Kyle Figueroa steps in and takes for a ball, 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be fouled way over the stands, actually. And 1-1 on Kyle Figueroa now.
Possibly off on Auburn Road.
Possibly. Here comes the 1-1. That's going to be in for a strike. 1-2 now. Kyle Figueroa, last time these two teams played, went 1 for 4 with a hit and had a walk in his last plate appearance. As that pitch is in for a ball, 2-2.
Didn't do too much Thursday evening as he grounded out mostly the whole night. So maybe it'll be a better night tonight.
Well, he's batting .208 on the season. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ooh, going to be called strike on the outside corner. And he doesn't agree with that one as he gives a side glance to the umpire. So that'll be the second strikeout today for Brandon Nagum and his 6th consecutive out. So now Joe Maroney will step in. He had the first strikeout of the game, and he struck out swinging. Struck out on 4 pitches. Here's the first pitch to Joe Maroney. Going to be outside for a ball, 1-0 on him.
Both teams in the early going not agreeing with the calls the home plate umpires calling tonight.
Comes the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0 now.
But each ump is different.
Yep, and last night we saw an ump that was not generous with the strike zone, and tonight it's the other way around. He's being very generous. And here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's going to be in there for a strike, 2-1 now.
It's hard to catch the ump's names each and every single game here.
I'm not sure, because we listened for it. I'm not sure if they announced it today. We could have just missed it. It's entirely possible as the 2-1 pitch comes in. Swing and miss, so the count is even, 2-2.
Going to have to make that my priority each game.
Comes the 2-2 pitch. And it's going to be in there for a strike. Strikes the last 2 men out in the inning. Both of them struck out looking. So it's going to be 7 consecutive outs and yet another 1-2-3 inning for Brandon Nagum as he's proving that he deserves to be in the starting lineup or starting rotation for the Utica Unicorns.
He sure does.
So Utica Unicorns lead it after 2.5 or 3 innings of play. Or 2.5. Got it right the first time. So we go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning where Taylor Galikowski is going to lead it off, followed by Luke Doyle and Brandon Raw. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the third inning, where the Unicorns lead it 1-0 on a Clay Artizer sac fly in the first. Taylor Galikowski steps in. He grounded out to Ricky Castro his first time up. Here comes the first pitch to him. Going to be high, so it's going to be a ball, 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and he's going to fly this one into shallow right field. Stewart just barely onto the outfield grass, makes the catch. So, and that'll be the first out of the inning on just 2 pitches. Taylor Galikowski, Dan, only has 4 hits, but 3 of them are for home runs. So when he does hit the ball, he hits them with a lot of power.
Yes, he does. And not too shabby of him.
Now Luke Doyle will step in, and he is the sole run to score today. He walked his first time up. The first pitch to him is going to be a ball, 1-0. Yeah, Clay Artizer has brought Luke Doyle home. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Oh, that's going to be high. Almost hit him. 2-0 now on Luke Doyle.
Watch out.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. And the ball's going to be flown foul behind home plate. So 2-1 now on Luke Doyle.
Plan on coming to the game, any game this season here at USPBL Jimmy John's Field, bring your mitt. Waterfly balls.
Luke Doyle struggled in the first inning, throwing 40 pitches, but responded in the second, going 1-2-3. As he goes to 3-1 now on... I'm sorry, Devin Alexander. I said Luke Doyle. He's the batter.
Yeah.
I realized that at the end. But yeah, Devin Alexander had a struggle in the first inning, but went 1-2-3 in the second. As this pitch is in, swung on and fouled into the netting. So 3-2 count is full. That is the 4th full count now for Devin Alexander in this ball game. 2 of which resulted in walks. And that ball's going to be hit for a single past Gomez down the first base line.
Just barely got underneath his glove there.
Yeah, he grounded it just past Stewart. Stewart dove for it, but like you said, Dan, got underneath his glove. So with 1 out, we have a man on first, and Brandon Raw coming to the plate, and he got a single his last time up. One of the only 2 hits the Unicorns have yet today.
And that was to Mark Kruger out there in right.
The first pitch to him is going to be inside for a ball. Gets away from Figueroa, but not far enough for Luke Doyle to test him. So 1-0 now on Brandon Raw. Comes the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be in for a ball. 2-0 now. And Alexander's going to throw over to first. Luke Doyle just kind of jogs back to the base. He didn't really have that great of a lead that time. But he's definitely someone you want to watch when he's on the base paths. As the 2-0 pitch comes in, he's going to fly this one to left field. Pretty deep. That ball is going, and that ball is gone. A home run. Brennan Raw, it's his 3rd home run of the season on a 2-0 pitch. And that's going to drive in 2 more runs for the Utica Unicorns. This is going to be a 3-0 lead now.
Oh, baby.
So on a 2-0 pitch, he drives that one deep into left field for a home run. And now Chris Cruz will come up with the newly emptied base paths. Still 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Chris Cruz got on base on a walk his last time up.
That would be Doyle's second home run of the season.
And the first ball to him is hit right into the shift over there in right field, and they're going to get him out. It's going to be 2 outs.
Actually, my correction, that's raw.
So the defense had shifted as Stewart had gone into shallow right field, and Chris Cruz hit it right to him, so they were able to get him out.
And that was Raw's third home run of the season.
So 2 outs now in the bottom half of the third inning. Clay Artizer steps in, who got a sac fly RBI his last time up. And it's going to be 0-1 on him. And he's going to hit that one back to the mound, but Alexander couldn't corral it. But he's going to be able to get to it and just underhand it to Gomez for the third out of the inning. So we're done with 3 here at Jimmy John's Field, but not before the Utica Unicorns hit a 2-run home run courtesy of Brandon Raw. So we're going to go to the top half of the 4th inning, where leading off for the Diamond Hoppers is the shortstop Ricky Castro, followed by Chris Power and Casey Chenoweth. So we will be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 4th inning, where due up for the Hoppers is Ricky Castro. They look to retaliate after a 2-run bomb, courtesy of Brandon Raw in the last half inning. So they trail now 3-0. Ricky Castro, his first time up, flew out to the first baseman as he hits that one fouled on the third base line. So 0-1 on him now.
Yeah, Devin Alexander struggling for the Hoppers on the mound this evening.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch. One's going to be low, way low in the dirt, actually. So it's going to be 1-1 now on Ricky Castro.
And it looks like the Hoppers do have a right-hander warming up in their bullpen. And I believe it is, let me take a look, Ben Ellison, right-handed pitcher.
As the third pitch of the at-bat is in. Called for a ball, 2-1. As we had to try out our new binoculars now. We upgraded.
You didn't like mine?
They're too tiny for me, I guess. As up. That ball's in for a strike, 2-2 now.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Not everything's perfect with you, right?
No, hey, it worked for what we needed. But when I was cleaning out my room today, I found them. I'm like, this would be perfect.
Okay.
And here comes the 2-2 pitch. And he's going to foul tip that one behind home plate. Remains 2-2. So what's the conclusion on who's warming up in that bullpen?
I think it's still Ben Allison.
Is it? Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Foul tipped again. Going to remain 2-2.
But if I'm wrong, you have the permission to yell at me.
I will not yell at you for getting it wrong. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just give you a very displeased look. Here comes a 2-2 pitch, and he's going to foul that one down the first base line.
And I'll make sure I don't look.
No eye contact. Goes to 2. It remains 2-2 now. And here comes the pitch. It's going to foul tip that one off his thigh. So it'll stay 2-2.
The Diamond Hoppers with the lime green uniforms this evening.
I think that's their standard away jersey. They have the darker green spots. As the 2-2 pitch comes in, and he fouls another one off. As this is the first long at bat that Brandon Nagum has really faced today.
Still only at 46 pitches.
Throwing very little pitches as possible. Doing a great job of getting these guys out, as that one's flied over to right field. And Cruz is going to come in, but not far enough, because that's going to land in foul territory. And it'll stay 2-2. And I believe that is the 11th pitch of the at-bat.
You are right, Brian.
And yet again, here comes the 2-2. And he flies this one into shallow right field. Doyle and Cruz both converge, but Cruz ends up making the play. So after a 12-pitch at-bat, Brendan Nagum prevails when Ricky Castro flew out to Chris Cruz in right field.
The lights begin to come on here at Jimmy John's Field. Just a...
Better sooner rather than later, I suppose.
Yeah, last night they came out a little bit late.
As it was beginning to get a little dark out, but didn't affect the pace of game too much. Here's the first pitch to Chris Power. It's going to be called a ball, 1-0 now. Chris Power's last time up hit for a double, but was not able to come around to score as his team failed to bring him home. And the 1-0 pitch is going to be called for a ball, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0 now. Chris Power not really looking at anything worth swinging at. Most of the pitches have been low and inside. And here comes the 3-0 pitch. Low again, so he's going to walk him on 4 straight pitches. This is the first walk issued today by Brandon Nagum. So now Casey Chenoweth will step in with 1 man on and 1 out, trailing 3-0 here in the bottom half, or the top half of the 4th inning. Casey Chenoweth, his last time up, grounded out to third base, where Galikowski fielded it.
6 hits so far this season for Chenoweth, and does have a homer. And 3 RBIs, it looks like.
As Casey Chenoweth waits on the first pitch to him, Nagum keeping a careful eye over there at first base on Chris Power.
And he was the second one to hit a homer here at Jimmy John's Field this season. Raw was the first, like you said earlier.
Yes, he was, as the count is now 1-0 on Casey Chenoweth. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And he's going to fly that one foul behind home plate. Way over top of the grandstand. It's going to be 1-1 now.
Did he hit your car, Brian?
Well, my car is parked. Well, I'm not going to disclose that over the air, but it's parked far enough away that I don't have to worry about fly balls.
Same.
And here comes the 1-1 pitch. And he drills that ball into the gap in left field. And that's going to get down. That might be extra bases. That will be extra bases. As Chris Power is going to strive for home and cut this deficit to a 2-run. And he does. And Casey Chenoweth has a 1-out RBI double. So Cam Stewart will step in with runner in scoring position and a little less of a deficit, as now the Unicorns only lead at 3-1. Casey Chenoweth getting a lot on that one and drilling it right into the gap. That ball landed on the warning track out there in left center field. The first pitch to Cam Stewart is going to be a ball, 1-0.
Make that his 4th RBI.
His last time up, Cam Stewart grounded much like Casey Chenoweth did over to Taylor Galikowski at third. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be in there for a strike. 1-1 now. So after getting 8 consecutive outs, Brandon Nagum gives up a walk and an RBI double in the top of the 4th. And the 1-1 pitch is in. Check swing as they throw down to second to try and get him, but he ends up bouncing that ball off of Casey Chenoweth, but not far enough away from him to try and get to third.
Ouch. That had to sting a little bit.
It looked like it did. He looks like he's shaking it off, but didn't hurt enough that he wasn't looking to try and run to third if that ball gets into the outfield a little bit deeper.
Chenoweth probably wished he would have ricocheted it further out.
So it's going to be 2-1 now on Cam Stewart. Here comes the pitch. Outside, 3-1 now. Brennan Nagum takes a cautious look back to second as he delivers the pitch. Swing and miss. Big swing by Cam Stewart, and the count goes to full, 3-2.
Probably looking for a home run on that one.
Well, he took a big rip at that. The home run would have tied it there, too. As 3-2 pitch is inside, so it's going to walk him. The second walk of the inning. And now there's men at first and second with only 1 out as Esteban Gomez comes to the plate. And Esteban Gomez's last time up flew out to Brandon Raw in center field. Part of a 1-2-3 inning in the second. Here comes the first pitch to Gomez. In there for a strike, 0-1 now. Cautious look back to second for Brennan Nagum. And swing and a miss by Esteban Gomez. It's 0-2 now. Brendan Nagum has 3 strikeouts to this point in the ball game, looking to make it 4. He's got Gomez in an 0-2 count as he delivers the pitch. Outside, 1-2. Two of those aforementioned strikeouts came looking, one of which Kyle Figueroa did not agree with. The ball appeared to be outside, but the umpire called it a strike as another one's delivered outside. 2-2 now. Count is even on Esteban Gomez.
Nagum does have 9 strikeouts after getting 3 tonight so far.
9 strikeouts across 11 and 1/3 innings pitched. And swing and a miss.
Make it 10.
So
make it the 4th on the ball game for him.
So now he's got an even split, 2 swinging, 2 looking. And we have 2 outs now in the top half of the 4th inning. Men on first and second for Brian Bilello. The Hoppers have been able to cut down on that 3-0 deficit on a RBI double by Casey Chenoweth, making it 3-1. And with a runner at second, he has a chance to drive home a run himself. Brian Bellello, his last time up, grounded out to, who would have guessed, Taylor Galikowski. As that one's in for a strike, 0-1 on him. The second pitch to Bellello is going to be in there for a strike. Again, 0-2. As Nagum looks to end the inning on a strikeout.
Rampone last night was very active for the Unicorns out there at second.
As the 0-2 pitch comes in, and he's going to ground this one to Galikowski. He's going to throw it down to Artesier, but a bad throw is going to get away from him, and that's going to score a run. And that might score two. No, he's going to hold up at third. So they're going to cut down that deficit by another run and make it 3-2 now. As Chenoweth comes around to score.
We've seen a lot of errors.
Yes, Cam Stewart advances to third on the play, and Brian Bellello on what should have been a inning-ending ground out advances to second. So that'll be a E5. I'm not sure if they'll give him the single or not. I'm not entirely sure if he would have legged that one out. But it'll be an E5 nonetheless, as he would not have advanced to second without that. So Galikowski, after getting a lot of work this evening, has committed an error to allow the Hoppers to score another run. And the first pitch to Mark Kruger is a strike. Mark Kruger looking to get his first hit in the USPBL.
And RBI.
Wouldn't that be a nice way to start your career? And it's going to be 1-1 now on Mark Kruger. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Outside for a ball, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's going to be a ball, 3-1 now. The inning would have been over if Taylor Galikowski wouldn't have thrown that ball away when trying to throw over to Artizer down there at first base, but it got away from him and allowed a run to score, and that ball's going to be outside, and so the bases are going to be loaded now with 2 outs on that 2-out walk. As there's going to be a meeting at the mound.
That was Nagum's 4th walk.
There's
in
some
this ball game.
action over there in the Utica Unicorns bullpen. After Brendan Nagum was cruising through the first 3 innings, he's hit some road bumps here in the 4th. So the meeting over there at the mound is over with, and Kyle Figueroa steps in with bases loaded and 2 outs in the top half of the 4th inning. 3-2 Utica Unicorns lead, but the Hoppers could take the lead here on a RBI single.
And warming up in the Utica's bullpen is Lane Gushler.
As that one is grounded foul on the third base line.
That's the right-hander.
Not the first time we've seen him this season. 0-1 Kyle Figueroa. And the 0-1 pitch comes in. Swung on and missed by Kyle Figueroa. 0-2 now. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 4th inning. Hoppers have already scored 2 this inning, looking to tie the game at 3 apiece. The 0-2 pitch to Figueroa. He swings and flies this one to center field, but playable by Brandon Raw, so this should end the inning, and it will. So, despite scoring 2 runs this inning on an error and an RBI double, the Utica Unicorns still have the lead going into the bottom of the 4th, 3-2. So, we'll be back shortly. Leading off for the Utica Unicorns is the DH Nico Lalio, followed by Quentin Alexander and Nick Tadero. So, we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 4th inning, where we have a new pitcher in for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in Ben Allison. So Devin Alexander's day's done after a rough first inning, had him pitch 40 pitches. And then he had a 1-2-3 in the 2nd and struggled again in the 3rd with a 2-run home run.
But remember, Brian, this is his first start. He's usually known for coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah, but in long relief, too, so you expect to get at least 3 innings out of him. You want more if he's in the starting rotation. So he goes 3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. 2 of those earned runs coming via home run from Brandon Raw, as the first pitch to Nico Lalio is in for a strike, 0-1. And the new pitcher is Ben Allison, who's only pitched 2/3 of an inning this year and given up 2 earned runs in that 2/3 of an inning. So his ERA is 27, but obviously that'll come down a lot if he can get a couple good innings in here. So Nico Lalio, meanwhile, has swung on a pitch and missed, so it's 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Foul tipped, but not into the glove, so it's going to remain 0-2.
Ben Allison out of Batavia, Illinois, did his college ball at Belhaven University.
No clue where Belhaven University is, but I do know where Illinois is. It's a good thing, obviously, because it's right next to us.
Yep.
Not sure where you say Batavia is?
Batavia, Illinois. Don't know where that's at, but it's in Illinois somewhere.
Somewhere. And the 0-2 pitch is in for a ball, 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Nico Lalio, and he swings and flies this one into foul territory down the third base line. Chenoweth comes over to make the catch, and is unsuccessful as it lands in the stands. So it's going to remain 1-2 now. So 1-2 now on Nico Lalio.
Batavia, Illinois is in the Chicago
As that one
suburbs.
is flown down the first base line foul. You said where's in the suburbs?
Chicago suburbs.
Ah, okay. Remain 1-2. I do know where Chicago is, so I guess that gives me a general idea.
Your sister is in Chicago, right?
Yes, she does. She lives there. She's always wanted to live there, and so that's where she moved to. As that ball's grounded over to the second baseman, Cam Stewart. Thrown out at first is thrown out at first is Nico Lalio. The ball was thrown to Gomez. As Ribby does some dancing down in front of the camera here. So now Quentin Alexander will step in. He struck out swinging his first time up. So Ben Allison has now officially pitched an entire inning on the regular season. Only 1/3 of it today. And that ball's going to be lined over the head of Cam Stewart and into right field. Into the gap. He's going to try for two, and this is going to be a tight one.
Wow!
As Stewart cuts it off, so Quentin Alexander's going to leg out a double. And if it was anyone else, I'm not sure they would have gotten in there, but Quentin Alexander's one of the faster guys on that Utica Unicorns lineup.
Definitely showed his wheels there.
Yes, he did. As Nick Tadero is going to come in now with a chance to extend their lead and respond to the 2-run top the Eastside Diamond Hoppers had. He's going to call for time. Nick Tadero's last time up flew out to Joe Maroney in center field. And the first pitch to Nick Tadero is going to be foul tipped off his body. So it'll be 0-1 on him. Quentin Alexander at second with one out in the bottom half of the fourth inning here. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And he's going to line that one up the middle, but Castro was able to get to it. He's going to toss over to first and get Nick Tadero. But on the play, Quentin Alexander was able to advance. So now Timothy Budd has a runner at third with 2 outs. And the Utica Unicorns lead it 3-2. Timothy Budd, his last time up, struck out looking in a long at-bat. That at-bat lasted 9 pitches. Comes the first pitch to him. In for a strike, 0-1 now.
On this beautiful Saturday evening.
As the sun begins to set, Dan, the temperature lowers a little bit, and it has just gotten, I would have to say, the perfect temperature. It's like not too hot, not too cold. And as that ball's grounded down the third base line, but foul, so 0-2 now. It's kind of like the porridge in that storybook tale, whose the name of it I'm forgetting right now. I can't believe I'm forgetting this. This is like Goldilocks. Thank you, Steve.
There you go.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I drew a blank on that one.
It's okay.
Steve is in disbelief that I
We
couldn't
both got your
remember that.
back.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch. And that one's going to get away from Figueroa, but unfairly so. That ball bounces right back to Figueroa. And they got Alexander caught in a pick. He's going to try and outrun the ball, but they're going to tag him out and get out of the inning. That ball got away from Figueroa, but bounced right back off the backstop into his glove. But Alexander had already broken for home and is tagged out in a pickle. And that's got to be just pure frustration on Alexander and the Unicorns' part, because that should have been, they should have been able to score on that, but just luck was on the Hoppers' side.
Yeah.
So
Talk about lucky break.
yeah, it's going to remain a 3-2 lead for the Unicorns, going to the bottom half, or the top half of the fifth inning. Leading off for them in the top half of the fifth is Joe Maroney, followed by Ricky Castro and Chris Power. So we're going to be back very shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here to the bottom half of the fourth inning.
We're a new pitcher.
Yes, we have a new pitcher on the mound.
And there'll be Lane Gusler.
Yes, Lane Gusler will take the mound. Top out of the fifth inning.
Yeah.
I kept looking at my score sheet in that long silence. I was like, something's not right.
We have a lot of sheets in front of us.
Yes, we do. So Lane Gusler is their new pitcher. I'll get the final line on Brandon Nagum for you in a second as Joe Maroney steps in.
Not much. We haven't seen Gusler much.
He pitched the first time these two teams met, but not for very long. As the first pitcher, Joe Maroney, comes in outside, but called for a ball, or called for a strike, 0-1. So Brandon Nagum ultimately goes 4 innings pitched. As that ball's grounded over to Quinn Alexander, but off his glove, so Maroney's going to be safe at first.
Another error in this ball game.
That'll be the second one committed by the Unicorns.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Ricky Castro. Ricky came into the game today batting a robust 379.
So Ricky Castro will step in now, coming in today hitting 379, and that ball is going to be high. Final line on Brandon Nagum: 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, I should say, and 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. So he only gave up 2 hits, but gave up 2 earned runs in the process as they throw over to first base, but Joe Maroney gets back in time. Brandon Nagum had 2 1-2-3 innings in the second and third, but that fourth inning was rough on him.
Yes, it was.
So it started out looking like he was going to have a strong outing, but that fourth inning really done him in as Ricky Castro tries to steal and is going to steal so successfully.
There's his wheels.
So it's going to remain 0-1 now on Ricky Castro as Joe Maroney steals second. And he's going to show bunt, and he's going to bunt down the first base line, and he's going to get there successfully as that ball stays fair.
Very perfect bunt there by Castro.
I think ideally he wants to bunt it down the third base line, but he managed to do well on that one, bending it down the first base line, and Artizer was hoping it would go foul, and it didn't, so he just outran the ball.
Just watched it.
So that'll advance Joe Maroney down there to third. So now the Diamond Hoppers have a chance to tie this ball game in the top of the fifth inning with no outs and a runner at first and third. They trail 3-2. And the first pitch to Chris Power is going to be called a strike, 0-1. Chris Power today is 1 for 1. He doubled in the first and had a walk his last time up in the fourth inning. And they threw it on to first, but Ricky Castro was able to get back in there safely. Lane Gusler not really giving any room to breathe because the Hoppers are known for their double steal technique. So be careful. Keep an eye on Castro. He might break for first in order to have Joe Maroney break from third. And the 0-1 pitch is in. And that's going to be called a ball. 1-1 now. And they're going to throw over to first again. Not giving Ricky Castro any room to breathe. getting a healthy lead out there as the pitch comes in. It's going to hit it right back to the mound, and that's going to score a run and tie the ball game on a ground out RBI for Chris Power. So now you have Ricky Castro advanced to second on the play. Joe Maroney comes home to score, and we're going to have one out now in the top of the 5th inning and a now tied ball game 3-3. So Casey Chenoweth will step in. He has an RBI double. He got that last inning, and he is 1 for 2.
Batting average 188.
Coming into the day. Here comes the first pitch. Swung on and missed. Gets away from Bud, but not far enough for Ricky Castro to try to break for third. So 0-1 now on Casey Chenoweth. As Chenoweth waits on the 0-1 pitch and delivers. Gonna be high for a ball. 1-1 now. Lane Gussler being very wary of Ricky Castro on the base paths, constantly keeping an eye on him.
These diamond hoppers are dangerous.
Especially players like Ricky Castro. He's got a lot of speed out there on the base paths. You're going to want to make sure you keep him by the base. And here comes a 1-1 pitch. Driven to left field. That might get down, but no. Nick Tadero comes in and makes a basket catch for the second out of the inning. And Ricky Castro will remain at second.
He had to really cruise for that one.
Was that a pun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure. You don't give me a laugh earlier, I won't give you a laugh now. That's how this goes, Dan.
And the sad face.
Here comes the first pitch to Cam Stewart. He's going to drive this one to left field. That one might get down. It will. They're going to try and score Ricky Castro from second base. He rounds the base pass, and he's going to get in there as the cutoff man drops the ball. So not only Eastside Diamond Hoppers have a 4-3 lead in the top half of the 5th inning. So that'll be an RBI single for Cam Stewart, and he is now 1 for 2 on the ball on the game, or 1 for 2 on the game. So now Esteban Gomez steps in, 0 for 2 today. Struck out his last time up. And they throw down to first to keep Cam Stewart from trying anything funny. Lane Gussler coming in relief of Brendan Nagum here and giving up 2 earned runs, giving the Diamond Hoppers the lead as the first pitch to Esteban Gomez, my apologies, is in for a ball, 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0 now. Correction, 1-1, my bad.
It's okay to make mistakes, Brian.
As long as I continue to cut down on them. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He's going to drill that one up the middle. It's going to be a base hit. And Cam Stewart is going to stay at second. So it'll be runners on first and second with 2 outs now for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers, looking to extend their lead here in the 5th inning. So Brian Bolello will step in, reaching on an error and advancing to second on the same error his last time up. 0 for 2 today. Here comes the first pitch to Bolello. In for a strike, 0-1. One pitches in. He's going to swing and miss at that one. 0-2 now. So Lane Gussler has a chance to get out of the inning. 3 earned runs have already hit him, though. And that one's going to be driven into center field, but Brennan Ross should be able to get it, and that's going to end the inning. But not before the Eastside Diamond Hoppers claim the lead. And they now lead the game 4-3 on RBIs from Cam Stewart and Chris Power. So going to the bottom half of the 5th inning, the Utica Unicorns look to strike back and reclaim that lead. Leading off for them is Timothy Budd, who didn't get to finish his at-bat. And then following him is Taylor Gielikowski and Luke Doyle. So we will be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Leading off for the Utica Unicorns is Timothy Budd. He ended the bottom half of the 4th inning still at bat when Quentin Alexander was thrown out in a pickle. He broke for home on a passed ball.
Clearly wasn't thinking. Bad base running there.
Bad base running decision as it came off the backstop right into Figueroa's glove.
But then again, a lucky break.
Lucky break for the Hoppers indeed, as if it weren't for that, it'd still be a tie ball game. And it's 1-0 or 2-0 now on Timothy Budd.
The Hoppers do have some action in their bullpen. It's the lefty Michael Gomez.
The other Gomez that is in the Hoppers lineup, as that ball is in, so 3-0 now. Comes the 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike. 3-1 now. Comes a 3-1 pitch. He's going to swing on that and drive it foul by the Hoppers dugout down the first base line. So count is full now, 3-2. Timothy Budd is 0 for 1 today. He struck out looking his first time up.
Obviously one of Nagum's victims.
As Budd calls for time. Devin Alexander had 2 strikeouts today, and he was one of the 2. He had both strikeouts. I'm sorry. He had 3 strikeouts that ball game. And they're going to walk him. So it'll be a no-out walk for Timothy Budd.
At least he gets to finish his bat this time around.
Yes, and I'm sure he'd been okay with a hit, but I'm sure he's not going to complain about a walk either. And Taylor Gielikowski is going to come to the plate as there's a meeting at the mound.
Looks like a pitching change.
Looks like you're right, Dan. Taylor Galikowski, meanwhile, is 0 for 2 today, grounding out and flying out in his 2 plate appearances so far. So Ben Allison will finish the game with just 1 inning pitched. 1 hit. No runs against him, though. And a walk and no strikeouts.
We get to see the lefty Michael Gomez.
So Ben Allison exits the game and dropping his ERA, I'm sure, pretty significantly, as he had a 27 ERA because he only pitched 2/3 of an inning coming into the game today. So now Michael Gomez is in, the man who was warming up in the bullpen earlier.
Michael Gomez out of Miami, Florida. Did his college ball out of Florida International University.
Did not pitch the last time these two teams played, or the first time. But he has played, don't get me wrong, he has played
Yes, he has.
this season, just not when these two teams have faced each other.
He has 5 innings pitch. He gave up 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, 1 run, and of course it wasn't earned.
Say it was or wasn't earned.
It was earned.
So Michael Gomez will come onto the mound now with inheriting a runner at first. That is Timothy Budd. Budd got on base from a walk, and Ben Allison's doing. So now Galikowski will finally step in. Galikowski batting from the right side. The first pitch to him is in. Called for a strike, 0-1 on him. Timothy Budd as a catcher isn't too much of a threat on the base paths. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Be high for a ball, 1-1. Budd with a decent lead over there at first. Comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and foul. The left side of home plate. So 1-2 on him now. Gomez sets, takes a peek over at first and pitches the ball. Gonna swing that one, hit it fouled on the first base line. So it's gonna remain 1-2 now. Michael Gomez doesn't seem very interested in holding Timothy Budd over there at first base, but I can't say as I blame him. As I mentioned previously, Timothy Budd being a catcher isn't much of a threat. And Taylor Galikowski is going to call for time. Resets in the batter's box now. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Figueroa tried to frame it, but it's going to be called a ball, 2-2. Lots of fans over there in the right field.
Yes, once again.
That right field hill. Beautiful, beautiful day to be out there as the sun begins to finally set and dip below the horizon. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and drilled, and it's going to be a base hit to left field. And that'll advance the runners. So we have runners at first and second with no outs here in the top half, or the bottom half of the 5th inning. So now Luke Doyle can tie the ball game here with a base hit. If if Timothy Budd can manage to come around to score.
He's going to have to hit it deep, though.
Not necessarily. If he gets a ground out single between the shortstop and third baseman, the second baseman and first baseman, and the shallow outfield, then the outfielder has to run in.
Yeah, you're right. You could be right.
But a hard hit single might be able to get the job done too.
But we haven't seen Timmy Budd's wheels yet. Because obviously, the catcher is not that much of a threat on the base pads.
And so now Luke Doyle steps in for his third plate appearance of the ball game. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit and a walk today, as the first pitch to him is going to be outside for a ball. 1-0 now. Comes the 1-0 pitch. High and outside. And it's going to be a ball, 2-0.
Caught yourself there, Brian.
Yeah, I almost said high and outside. That ball was just high.
Great job on doing that.
Well, if I was doing a great job, I wouldn't have slipped up like that in the first place. And here comes the 2-0 pitch. He's going to ground that one, but it's going to be fair ball. And that's going to score Taylor Galikowski as he rounds third base. And that is going to tie the ball game at 4 apiece as Luke Doyle gets in there with an RBI double.
There you go. The Unicorns tie this game up.
At first, I thought it was going to be a foul ball as he kind of chopped at it, and it hit the grass in front of Gomez and bounced over him down the first base line. So now we have a tie ball game at 4-4. The Unicorns answer with one of their own to tie this ball game. So now Brendan Raw will step in. He had a 2-run home run in his last plate appearance and a single in his first. So they're going to intentionally walk him here.
Yeah, definitely the power hitter in this lineup.
Well, he's been hitting really well. He's 2 for 2 today, and like I mentioned, he had that 2-run home run. So I can't say as I'd necessarily blame him.
By the way, Brian, that run is charged to Allison.
Because it was the man he walked in his. So now Chris Cruz will step up. Chris Cruz is 0 for 1 and had a walk in his first plate appearance. But bases are loaded now with no men out. And the Unicorns have a chance to take the lead in the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Great game we have here this evening.
It's been a back and forth one, that's for sure. The Unicorns got out ahead in the first inning, extended on it in the third, and then it was pretty much all Hoppers until recently, as that one's going to be drilled down fouled on the first base line. The Hoppers scored 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th to take the lead, 4-3. And then in the bottom of the 5th here, now the Unicorns have tied it up with one of their own.
Chris Cruz does have 4 RBIs this season. He will look to do some damage here.
4 RBI and 6 hits so far as this one comes in, and he's going to swing and miss on that one. 0-2 now.
Very late swing there.
As that one comes in at 88 miles an hour. And the 0-2 pitch, way outside, but Figueroa is able to stop that one from getting past him. So it'll be 1-2 now.
Great job by him staying in front of it.
Chris Cruz with the chance to give his team the lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Bases loaded, no outs, game tied 4-4. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Inside, ball, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Outside again. Now it's 3-2 on him. So after getting behind 0-2 in the count, Chris Cruz fights his way back to a full count, 3-2.
If you're Gomez, you gotta be careful which pitch you want to pitch here. You want to go to your best one, though.
He's got to go with a strike here. With bases loaded and no men out, he doesn't really have much room to breathe. And that's going to be foul tipped by Chris Cruz. It's going to remain 3-2 now. As Gomez sets. The pitch is in. He's going to fly that one way up in the air. He's going to pop it over to Chenoweth at third base. And that's going to be one out. And it's pretty much how you want to do it if you're Gomez. You either want to strike him out or get him to get a high pop-up like that so no one can score.
You know, the Unicorns have been struggling to start the season with bases loaded.
They have had lots of men left on base. They scored one earlier in the game in a bases loaded situation. And like we mentioned so many times already, in yesterday's bottom of the ninth, they didn't manage to score any runs in a game that they could have walked off on.
Definitely had us at the edge of our seats.
Yes, I was ready. I was ready for my big call to then come. As that ball to Clay Artizer is going to be inside for, well, a ball.
Don't you worry, Brian. We'll have one soon.
Well, I hope so. And it's going to be 1-0 now. Bases still loaded, one out. Unicorns have tied the ball game here in the bottom half of the fifth, looking to do more damage. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0 now. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's going to be high for a ball, 3-0 now. And Michael Gomez may very well walk home a run to give the Unicorns the lead. He's got to throw a strike here. And I think Clay Artizer is going to be waiting for the one he wants. And it's going to be in there for a strike. 3-1 now. Because he's got room to work with now. So he's probably going to be looking for his pitch, I should say. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. And he swings and he drives that one to left field. And power's going back, but he's going to be able to make the catch just shy of the warning track. But meanwhile, Taylor Galikowski is going to be able to score after he tags up. So Clay Artizer with his second sac fly RBI of the ball game gives the Unicorns the lead yet again. So this game is going back and forth. As Timothy Budd had tagged up and came home on that. So Nico Lolio into the batter's box now. He is 0 for 2 today. Grounded on his last time up. He's got men at first and second, looking to extend the lead for the Unicorns. First pitch to him is outside, 1-0. Michael Gomez has been throwing a lot of those pitches outside to the extent that Figueroa has to constantly slide and get them.
Yes, he has.
As he takes a look back to second and delivers the pitch. And that one's going to be, smoked into the glove of Gomez down there at first base.
Great heads-up play by him.
So Nico Lolio makes fantastic contact on that one, but an even better play by Gomez to keep the damage minimal. But the Unicorns do reclaim the lead here, and now lead it by a score of 5-4 here, going to the top of the sixth inning. Leading off for the Hoppers at the top of the sixth is going to be Mark Kruger, followed by Kyle Figueroa and Joe Maroney. And we'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 6th inning, where the Utica Unicorns have reclaimed the lead 5-4.
And another pitching change.
We do have a pitching change. Lane Gussler goes 1 inning, and he gives up 2 earned runs. Actually, only 1 earned run, because one of them was the one base runner got on an error. So Mark Kruger in now, and it's 0-1 against him. The new pitcher is Ethan Roseback for the Utica Unicorns. As I try to organize my notes here. The second pitch to him is a ball, 1-1. Lane Gussler not having a very good 5th inning.
Ethan Roseback, 4 innings pitched this season.
As that ball is popped into the air, and Doyle's going to be able to get underneath it and make the catch. So it's going to be a quick out here for Ethan Roseback.
But anyways, back to what I was saying. Roseback, 4.5 innings pitch. Does have a loss this season. It has only given up 2 hits and has 2 strikeouts. And has given up 1 earned run.
And here comes the first pitch to Kyle Figueroa, and he swings and misses at that one, 0-1. The final line on Lane Gussler, 1 inning pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of which was earned though. No walks and no strikeouts. And that'll be a ball to Kyle Figueroa, 1-1 now. Here comes the pitch, and it's going to be in there for a strike, 1-2 with 1 out. And the Hoppers now trail the Utica Unicorns 5-4 here in the top of the 6th inning. The 1-2 pitch, he's gonna protect the plate there and get a piece of it to stay alive and remain 1-2. Comes the 1-2 pitch. It's going to swing and flare this one to right field. It's going to get down for a single. So Kyle Figueroa has his first hit of the ball game. And with 1 out, singular, Joe Maroney will come in. He's 0 for 3 today. Reached his last time up on an error. Eventually came around to score. The tying run over there at first base, and he shows bunt but pulls it back, so it'll be a ball, 1-0 now on Joe Maroney. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a strike. So it's 0-1.
It's one of those nights again.
I think I've been doing pretty good overall.
Yeah.
A couple times. I correct myself when I do make a mistake, though.
So you know I'm going to give you the thumbs up.
And he swings and misses at that one, 0-2.
Instead of thumbs down.
As Steve is teetering on the edge of giving me a thumbs down, I appreciate his constructive criticism. Comes the 0-2 pitch. That's going to be inside for a ball. Checked his swing on it. Umpire said he was good. So it goes to 1-2 now. It's been a very back and forth game tonight between the Diamond Hoppers and the Unicorns. And the 1-2 pitch is in. He's going to foul that one in the stands, right of home plate. Remain 1-2. In a game in which the lead has changed already a number of times. Unicorns having it first, then followed by the Diamond Hoppers. Now back to the Unicorns. As Maroney waits on the 1-2, it's delivered, and he swings and misses at that one. A foul tip into the glove of Timothy Budd. So it'll count as a strikeout swinging. The first strikeout of the ball game for Ethan Roseback. The 4th one altogether for the Unicorns. So now Ricky Castro will step in with Kyle Figueroa still at first base.
And with that comfortable lead.
And he swings and misses at the first pitch. We have another catcher on the base paths, so I don't
Yeah,
think
not
that
a
Ethan
threat.
Rosbeck's too concerned. And the 0-1 pitch is in for a strike. 0-2 now on Ricky Castro as Rosbeck threatens to get his second consecutive strikeout. Ricky Castro is 1 for 3 today. Reached on a bunt singles last time up. That pitch is a ball, 1-2.
And where the Unicorns thought it was going to go foul, Ardeeser did. But it stayed fair.
Yes, that was the ball that went down the first base line. And they're going to try and steal second, and they're going to get in there successfully as Bud's throw was off the mark. Alexander couldn't corral it in.
So Figueroa can be a threat on the base.
Apparently, I guess I shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
And there was a delayed steal, of course.
Well, we do know that the Diamond Hoppers love to steal, as we've seen so many times in this season so far. And the 2-2 pitch is coming now. Going to be in for a ball. Count is full, 3-2. So now there's a runner at second with 2 outs. And Ricky Castro has a chance to tie this ball game as he swings and fouls that one left of home plate into the netting. So 3-2 count remains. And the Tigers have beaten the White Sox in the second game of the doubleheader, 4-3. As he's going to flare that one into center field. That's going to be down for a hit. And Figueroa is going to circle third. And he's going to tag up and score. And they're going to tie this ball game up 5-5 now.
Back and forth ball game, like you said, Brian.
Yes, it has. It's going to be an RBI single for Ricky Castro. Second hit of the ball game.
I'm glad the Tigers got that second win.
Well, that breaks their losing
least,
streak.
yeah.
They've had a lot of them this season. So Chris Power steps in now. He's 1 for 2 today with an RBI and a double. As they throw down to first base to make sure Ricky Castro stays there.
Let's see if Power does have the power this time around.
Yes, he does. He hit that ball all the way out to the wall in left field. And that's going to be way inside as Chris Power has to dodge out of the way. It'll be 1-0 now. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Inside for a ball, 2-0 now.
Rosbeck likes to pin the inside corner, looks like.
Comes the 2-0 pitch to Chris Power. Now it's going to be in there for a strike, 2-1 now. After both teams got 2 runs in the 5th inning, the Unicorns had the lead coming into the 6th, but now the Hoppers have tied it up at 5 apiece of an RBI single from Ricky Castro. Castro sits at first with 2 outs. And Chris Power is going to foul that one into the Hoppers' dugout.
Watch out.
So it's 2-2 now.
You got to be ready at all times.
Well, it's a good thing most of the players are watching the game. He's going to throw it on to first to make sure Castro stays there. We've already had a steal this inning. And the 2-2 pitch is in. Going to check a swing on that one. I'm just going to say it did not go, so it's going to go to 3-2 now on Chris Power. Chris Power, as I mentioned, is 1 for 2 today. He had a double in the 1st inning, a walk in the 4th, and a ground out RBI in the 5th inning. And they're going to try and steal, but they're going to walk him. So kind of negates that. So now there will be runners at first and second. So Casey Chenoweth will come in with a chance to give his Hoppers the lead yet again. Casey Chenoweth, his last time up, flew out to left field, but does have an RBI double on the ball game. 1 for 3 in total.
That was back in the 4th inning.
And the first pitch to him is going to be in for a strike, 0-1. So now we have Ricky Castro at second base and Chris Power at first with 2 outs. Hoppers have already brought home a run. And they look to take the lead here with runners in scoring position. The 0-1 pitch is in. Called for a strike, 0-2 now. As Chenoweth waits on the 0-2. Here's the pitch way inside as he has to, as Dan, you would say, kind of matrix his way out of that one.
Yeah.
So it's going to go to 1-2 now.
Definitely had the light flash before his eyes there.
He looked like Neo out there, bending out of the way of that one. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and struck him out to end the inning, but not after the Hoppers are able to tie it up thanks to a Ricky Castro RBI single. So we've played 5.5 here at Jimmy John's Field. Due up in the bottom half of the 6th inning for the Utica Unicorns is going to be Nico Lalio, Quentin Alexander, and Nick Tadero. It's a tie. It's a 5-5 tied ball game, and we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 6th inning. We have another pitching change for the Utica Unicorns as Michael Gomez is done for the evening. Jordan Pennell now in. And in a few moments, I'll get you the final line for Michael Gomez as the first pitch to Quentin Alexander is going to be a ball, 1-0. And that's going to be a strike, 1-1 now, as he takes a big rip at that one and misses. And he's going to take for a strike that time. 1-2 now. The final line on Michael Gomez. And Quinn Alexander, meanwhile, is going to strike out swinging for the first out of the bottom half. And as I was saying, Michael Gomez went 1 inning pitch with 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. So not the ideal relief appearance he was probably hoping for.
No, not at all.
As Ben Allison is the only reliever so far to come in for the Hoppers that has not given up a run. And Nick Tadero steps in.
He only had 1 earned run.
Takes for a pitch. Strike, 0-1.
Gomez.
That's right, he inherited the one from Ben Allison and actually reverses it. I have to retract what I said now, as Ben Allison did give up an earned run. So every single one of the Hoppers pitchers today has given up a run. And it's quickly 0-2 now on Nick Tadero. Nick Tadero is 0 for 2 so far, or 0 for 2 today.
Jordan Pano does have 6 inning pitch, does have a win this season, only giving up 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. Well, that'll be a 6th strikeout, that is. And only 2 earned runs.
And it's 1-2 now on Nick Tadero. And it's 2-2 now. It count is even. Yeah, he has a 2.7 ERA in relief appearances so far this year, which is very good.
Yes, it is.
So look for good things here. As a 2-2 pitch comes in, it's going to be inside. Count is full now. We've had a lot of full counts in today's ball game. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. And he's going to walk him. So Nick Tadero will reach base on a 1-out walk. And Timothy Budd will step in now. He is 0 for 1 today. He got on base via a walk in the 5th inning and eventually came around to score. So here comes the first pitch to him. It's going to be inside for a ball, 1-0. As Nick Tadero breaks for second, but a little early, as the pitcher Pennell is going to easily throw behind him to Castro and get him out at second base.
And Utica Unicorns have not been successful on the base pads, or at least paying attention on the base pads, that is.
As Quinn Alexander was thrown on a pickle earlier in the game, trying to go from third to home on a pass ball. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0 now. So now the base paths are clear, and Pennell can focus solely on the batter at hand. And he's going to flare that one to the second baseman, Stewart. Easy toss over to first, and he's going to end up getting him. So what looked like it could have been a productive inning for the Unicorns ends abruptly as Nick Tadero gets caught stealing, and then Timothy Budd on the very next pitch grounds out. So it's going to remain a 5-5 tie going to the top of the 7th inning. And due up for the Diamond Hoppers is Cam Stewart, the man who got the final out there, Esteban Gomez, and Brian Bilello. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 6th inning, or the 7th inning, pardon me, where Cam Stewart is about to lead it off. He is 1 for 2 today with a RBI single and a walk. As Ethan Rosebeck takes back to the mound. It's quickly 0-1 now on Cam Stewart. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Ooh, paints the outside corner, makes it 0-2 now. The 0-2 pitch is in, and it'll be low for a ball, 1-2 now.
Rosebeck does have 2 strikeouts so far in this game.
Here comes the 1-2 count, or 1-2 pitch. It's gonna be high for a ball. Count is even at 2 apiece. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's gonna flare that one foul into the netting down by the home or Hopper's dugout. I always want to say home team dugout because I'm so used to home team dugouts being on the right, but it's different here at Jimmy John's Field.
You're right.
I'm used to going to Comerica where it's on the right, so I always want to say home team dugout. Here comes the 2-2. That's going to be inside. So after getting behind in the count 0-2, Cam Stewart fights back to make it 3-2. Here comes the 3-2. He's going to flare that one foul behind home plate into the stands. It'll remain 3-2. And he's going to strike out.
That'll be his 3rd one.
First baseman number 21, Esteban Gomez.
Yes, Dan, it is. It's his 3rd strikeout and 3rd strikeout swinging. As Esteban Gomez is going to step in now, and he is 1 for 3 now. First pitch to him is grounded down the 3rd base line. And they're not going to get him in time as Esteban Gomez is going to leg that one out for an infield single.
Definitely showed his wheels there.
Next up, the designated hitter number 10, Brian Doyle.
You never want to give up on a play.
Never do. That's why you got to leg everyone out, even if you know it, even if you're pretty confident you're going to get thrown out. He hit that one down the 3rd base line, and Grilikowski had to get it. And Esteban Gomez is a pretty speedy guy, so he's able to get that, or leg that one out for an infield single.
Now you see in the major leagues, some guys are lazy jogging down to first.
And the first pitch to Bilello is called for a ball, 1-0. 1 out with Gomez down there at first. The game is tied 5-5. There's the 1-0 in there for a strike, 1-1.
Great crowd out on hand this evening.
It's got a full stadium, that's for sure. And the 1-1 is going to be grounded foul down the 3rd base line. As happy and you know it plays on the stereo.
Go on, Brian, clap your hands.
I'm not going to clap my hands right now. It's 1-2 on Brian Bilello.
Sad face again. You're letting me down tonight.
I'm grumpy, I don't know. Just call me a grouch, I suppose. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and tipped foul. So it's going to remain 1-2. As Bilello waits on the 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. He's going to take for a strike, and they're going to strike him out looking. And it'll be the 4th strikeout for Ethan Rosebeck in his relief appearance here. That was the first one struck out looking. And so now Mark Kruger will come in with 2 outs. The game tied 5-5. And Esteban Gomez is still down there at first base. Here comes the first pitch to Kruger. It's going to be called a ball, 1-0. Gomez down there, the potential go-ahead run. Got on via a base hit in the second plate appearance of this half inning. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0 now.
Thank you for reminding me. I've got to write that down on my score sheet.
And the 2-0 pitch is in. 3-0 now. Well, you know, Dan, what's that you always say? We have each other's backs, right, bud?
Yes, we do.
3-0 on Mark Kruger. 2 outs, though. Here comes the 3-0 pitch. Gonna walk him on 4 straight pitches. So now that will advance Gomez to second base, giving them a runner in scoring position, and the potential go-ahead run could come home on a single.
Second walk of the ball game for Mark Kruger.
Yes, it is in his 1 2/3 innings pitched. And Kyle Figueroa will step in now. He is 1 for 3 today. He has a strikeout and a base hit. He managed to steal second and come around to score as he flares that one. That's going to be a single. Gets through down, and they're going to send Esteban Gomez home. He's going to be in safely, but meanwhile they tag out.
The question is, did he get home in time?
They tag out Kruger at third base, and yes, I believe he did, because I was watching the play, and Gomez tagged home before Kruger got thrown out at third base. So the Eastside Diamond Hoppers will reclaim the lead 6-5 going into the bottom half of the 7th inning. And it's 7th inning stretch time here at Jimmy John's Field, so we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 7th inning. And Taylor Gilakowski leads off. He is 1 for 3 today. Had a base hit his last time up. It's going to be 1-0 now on Gilakowski. Jordan Pinnell back out there for his 2nd inning of work as he throws the 1-0 pitch. And it's going to be grounded foul.
There's 1 strikeout and 1 walk.
So it'll be 1-1 now. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. He's going to fly that one to center field, but should be playable for Joe Maroney out there, and he does make the play. So that'll be the first out of the inning.
Now batting the second baseman, number 9, Luke Doyle.
So Luke Doyle will come in. Eastside Diamond Hoppers reclaim the lead on an RBI single.
Doyle has been very active this evening.
So yes, he has, as he is 2 for 2 today with a base hit and a double that resulted in RBI, and also has a walk. So he's reached on every single one of his plate appearances. And the first pitch to him is a strike. So he's got to be feeling pretty confident, as coming in today he was batting .367. And the 0-1 pitch to him is in. Outside, 1-1 now. The 1-1 pitch is a tad high for a ball, 2-1. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1 now.
Once again, Jordan Pano from Marshall, Missouri. Played ball at Western Illinois University.
I know that one, as that one's flown foul, left of home plate, into the stands, so it's going to be full count, 3-2. Another full count today. We've seen plenty of those on both sides.
Yes, we have. And once again, congratulations on knowing that.
Yeah. There's a lot of obscure colleges on here. I mean, people probably wouldn't know where I went to college if I went to a different state, so as Luke Doyle calls time,
Very true.
I guess I go to one of those obscure ones as well. 3-2 count, 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. 6-5 lead as the 3-2 pitch is in. Swings and misses at that one for the second strikeout for Jordan Pennell on the evening. And Luke Doyle, for the first time this ball game, will not reach base.
Here comes the powerful hitter, Brandon Waugh.
And so Brandon Raw, like you said, Dan will step in. He has a 2-run home run. 2 for 2 today. He actually very similar to Luke Doyle's day. He is 2 for 2 with a walk, but his walk was intentional. Only difference really between them is that Brandon Raw's extra base hit was a home run. And it's 1-0 now on Brandon Raw. Comes the 1-0 pitch. 1-1 on him now. Comes the 1-1. Below and inside, 2-1. Brandon Raw flexing his muscles for the 3rd home run of his season earlier today. And that one's going to be low, 3-1 now. Hit that ball over the left field fence. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Gonna walk him. So with 2 outs, the Utica Unicorns have a man on base, the potential tying run. So Chris Cruz has a chance to get something going here. He is 0 for 2 today, has drawn a walk back in the 1st inning. Last time up, he popped up to Chenoweth by 3rd base. Comes the first pitch to Cruz. Going to be inside for a ball, 1-0. Brendan Rawl with a decent lead over there at first base. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Inside again, 2-0 now on Chris Cruz. Chris Cruz, the tall lefty, came into the ball game batting .200. Hasn't really done much to help that average in this ball game.
No, he hasn't.
Only reaching base on a walk. As they throw down a first, but Brendan Rawl will get back in there safely. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. It's going to be swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Kyle Figueroa, so it's going to be 2-1 now.
Very powerful swing there by Cruz.
Got a piece of it, but was only able to foul tip that one. Comes the 2-1 pitch, and they're going to break for second there, but it was fouled off, so he'll have to return to first base. The count is even now, 2-2.
You can bet possibly the runner will be going on this pitch. Maybe.
And they're going to throw down to first to keep Raw there. Comes the 2-2 pitch. And he's going to drive that one to center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And Brendan Rawl will stop at second. So with 2 outs, you have a runner in scoring position and the potential go-ahead run at first base. So Clay Ardeezer is coming up. He hit a home run yesterday and has 2 sac fly RBIs in today's ball game.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. He has produced 40% of the Unicorns' runs today. Came into the ball game batting .333. Technically is only 0 for 1. That could be because I mentioned that he sac flew out in 2 of his plate appearances. And the first pitch to him is going to be high for a ball, 1-0. Comes the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Figueroa threatened to throw down to second base, but Brendan Rawl thought wiser and returned back.
We have seen him throw down there before.
And the 1-1 comes in. He's going to drive that one high in the air, but not deep enough, as Kruger's going to get that one in right field, and that's going to end the inning. So they threaten but do not score, as the game's going to remain a 6-5 lead in favor of the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. So after 7 innings of play, we go to the top of the 8th, where the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have Joe Maroney, Ricky Castro, and Chris Power due up. And we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the top half of the 8th inning, where the Hoppers lead at 6-5. We've had another pitching change, and on the first pitch, Seth Brenner is gonna just beam Joe Maroney.
Okay, there. Something you don't really see.
And so now Ricky Castro is going to come up. He's 2 for 4 today, 2 singles, one of them on a bunt, and he has an RBI as well. And he shows bunt again, but pulls it back.
Seth Brenner, usually a starter we see in Utica
1-0 on
rotation.
him now. Yeah, Seth Brenner has a 3.37 ERA across 8 innings pitched today, or so far this season. And the 1-0 pitch, he shows bunt again, bunts it this time, but right back to the mound. So they're just going to toss down to first, but it's off the bag. And they still manage to get him as he tags him instead of tagging the bag. I couldn't tell if he tagged his leg or tagged the bag, but nonetheless, he got him out at first base. But it will advance Joe Maroney down to second base. So runner is in scoring position for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers to extend their lead for Chris Power. And that ball's going to be high, 1-0 now on Chris Power. That's going to be called a strike, 1-1 now. One pitch is in for a ball, 2-1. And now I have to correct myself, as earlier I was on the wrong scorecard, as embarrassing as that is to admit. And it's Ethan Rosebeck's whose final line is 2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts as Seth Brenner takes over. And that ball's going to get away from him, but Joe Maroney is going to retreat back to second anyways. And it's going to go to 3-1 now on Chris Power. And they're going to walk Chris Power in the end. Okay. So now Casey Chenoweth will step in. He is 1 for 4 today with a double and an RBI. And runner in scoring position and a man on first as well. As that ball's delivered outside, 1-0.
Brenner intentionally walking Power there to possibly end in a double play.
He got it to 3-1 before finally deciding to just put him on base. And here comes the 1-0 pitch as they try to break for third. And the ball's going to get away. And the Hoppers are going to be able to extend their lead as Joe Maroney comes home safely. Joe Maroney broke for third to try and steal third, but the throw from Bud was off the mark, and it got past Galikowski. And that'll be the third error of the ball game for the Utica Unicorns. And now the Eastside Diamond Hoppers lead the game 7-5.
And once again, the Diamond Hoppers continue to improve how dangerous they are
On the base pads. Yeah, they steal a lot. They have a lot of speed, and they're not afraid to use it. And also on the play, Chris Power advances to the second, so we still have a runner in scoring position as well. And I believe that'll be an error on the catcher, but I'll wait for the official word on that.
Yes, it was.
As that ball is in, 3-0 now on Casey Chenoweth. It's a 3-0 pitch. High, he's going to walk him. The second walk of the inning for Seth Brenner. Also hit a batter.
Now batting the second baseman number 2, Cam Stewart.
So men on first and second. 7-5 lead for the Hoppers with only 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. Quick meeting at the mound is over as Cam Stewart steps in. 1 for 3 today with a base hit, RBI, and a walk. Last time up, he struck out swinging. First pitch to Cam Stewart's going to be hit for a ground ball to Doyle. He throws down to second, gets him out, and throws down to Artizer and gets the double play. So that'll be a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning, but not before the Eastside Diamond Hoppers score another run on an error. So it's going to be 7-5, where the Diamond Hoppers lead it, going to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Due up for the Utica Unicorns is Nico Lalio, Quentin Alexander, and Nick Tadero. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the bottom half of the 8th inning, where the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have a 7-5 lead. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here with you. And leading off for the Utica Unicorns here is Nico Lalio. And the first pitch to him is going to be a strike, 0-1, as Jordan Panell takes the mound for his 3rd inning of work. And that'll be in for a ball, 1-1 now. As here comes the 1-1 pitch. He's going to ground that one off his, well, butt, for lack of a better word.
Couldn't think of another one.
So it'll be 1-2 now. Lalio 0 for 3 today, struck out in the 1st inning. His last time up, he popped up to the first baseman Gomez. And the 1-2 pitch, he grounds that one over to Gomez as well. And Gomez will take it himself down to the first base, and it's 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
You jinx.
So Quentin Alexander's up now. He's 1 for 3 with a double and 2 strikeouts. First pitch to Alexander is going to be called a strike, 0-1. Dan, I'm not so sure if it's the pitching today or if the hitting has just come alive, but we've had a plethora of runs,
Yes, we have.
as that one's called a strike, 0-2.
It's been back and forth mostly, but then the Diamond Hoppers, of course, capitalizing on errors by Unicorns.
Well, it's been Utica, then it was Diamond Hoppers, then it was Utica, and then it was Diamond Hoppers again. So he swings and misses at a ball way outside, but it gets away from Figueroa. He gets a late break for first base, so he'll be thrown out. If Quentin Alexander had been paying proper attention, he would have gotten down at first on that strikeout. But because he was frustrated in himself for swinging at that, he didn't notice it had gotten away. So that'll count as a strikeout for Jordan Parnell, his third in his relief appearance now. And Nick Tadero stands in and looks at his first pitch. It's going to be called a ball, 1-0. Tadero today is 0 for 2. He got walked his last time up, but then got caught stealing. The 1-0 pitch is in, but it's going to get away from Figueroa, not very far. No man on base, though, so not much to worry about. 2-0 now. In the last half inning, the Diamond Hoppers extended the lead off an error committed by Timothy Budd. And he's going to ground that one over to the first baseman. And he's going to toss it over to Parnell, who is going to get them. And it's going to be a 1-2-3 inning. The first one we've seen for the Hoppers since all the way back in the second. So it's going to remain a 7-5 lead for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Going to the bottom half of the eighth. Or the top of the ninth, actually. My bad. And like I said, 7-5 lead. Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Due up for them is Esteban Gomez, Brian Bilello, and Mark Kruger. So we'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to this matchup between the Eastside Diamond Hoppers and the Utica Unicorns. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler with you here. The Utica Unicorns are currently trailing 7-5 to the Eastside Diamond Hoppers in the top of the ninth inning. Due up for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers is Esteban Gomez.
As the fans just got done doing the Cotton Eye Joe.
Yes, it is. Yes, they did. And actually, Cotton Eye Joy, I'm so surprised that the interns memorized it so quickly. As that ball is thrown over top of Esteban Gomez, he has to duck down to get out of the way, so it's 1-0 on him.
I know I have a hard time doing it.
The Cotton Eye Joe are ducking down.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, I struggle with it too. I tried to learn it, but I'm just not a very talented dancer. And I know it doesn't take much to learn that dance, but just not one of my talents. And the 1-0 pitch is in. It's going to be high, 2-0.
We're going to have to learn.
Well, I could learn it. It's definitely not something I'm opposed to, as that one's 3-0. It's always a fun conversation starter to say, hey, I know the Cotton Eye Joe dance.
There you go.
I do know the YMCA, though.
Yes, you should know that.
I mean, it's literally YMCA, and that's going to be in there for a ball, 3-1.
If you don't know that, I'm ashamed of you.
Well, don't worry, you're not ashamed of me, because I do indeed know it.
There you go. So
And the
I'm
3-1
happy.
pitch is in, called for a strike, full count now. Man, I really need to keep track of how many full counts we've had today,
Yeah,
because
we had a
that
lot.
feels like the 100th.
Yeah, we have quite a few today.
3-2 count, and he's going to foul that one. So it's going to remain 3-2 now.
Brenner coming in did struggle a little bit last inning, that is.
Yes, he did end up giving up a run.
Unearned.
Unearned, though, because Timothy Budd had a throwing error down to Grelikowski. And that one's going to be in there for a ball, so after the 3-2 count, he's going to walk him. So the first base runner for the Unicorns gets on as the Diamond Hoppers have a chance to extend their lead now with no outs and a man on. Brian Bilello will step in, the DH. And he's reached once today on an error. So he's 0 for 4. Struck out looking his last time up. Chance for him to turn it around. He's not coming in today. He's batting .071 as he fouls that one away. So 0-1 on him. And Dan, batting .071, that I hate to, I don't want to say poor things, but you have to be hitting better than that. Like,
Yes, you do.
that is just not acceptable.
I think another guy that has similar to him is R.J. Fuhrer from the Mammoths.
You're right, as they're going to throw down to first, and Artizer just barely misses the swipe. He could have gotten him
Yes,
if
he could
had
have.
turned a little bit quicker. But that was a good throw from Timothy Budd, trying to maybe make amends after that poor throw to third in the last inning that allowed Esteban Gomez to score. Or I'm sorry, Joe Maroney is the one who scored last inning. It was Gomez the inning before in the 7th. It's 1-2 now on Brian Bilello. Once he pitches in, and he's going to ground that one over the shortstop. They're not going to be able to. They forced the run at second, but Bilello's going to be safe, so no double play. But they avoid having a runner in scoring position, so it'll remain a runner at first base on a fielder's choice. So instead of Gomez down there at first, it's now Bilello as Kruger comes in with one out. He still looks for his first hit of his USPBL career as he fouls that one off. He's 0 for 4 today, has 2 walks, and walked his last time up.
And I'm for sure, Brian, it will happen soon.
He was thrown out at third for the second out in the 7th inning when he tried to go from first to third. A strong throw from the outfielder Cruz got him out as he swings and misses at that one. Is 0 for 2 now. The 0-2 pitch is in. It's going to be high for a ball. 1-2 now on Kruger. Kruger still looking for his first hit of his career here at Jimmy John's Field, Dan.
He's from Utah.
Yep, the Utah native comes in. And here comes the 1-2 pitch. He's going to swing and miss at that one. So he's going to probably have to wait till tomorrow unless the unsaid happens in the bottom of the 9th. So he strikes out, and Cal Figueroa will come up with going 2 for 4 today so far. He has a steal and an RBI.
And that is Seth Brenner's first strikeout coming in to tonight's game.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. I actually didn't notice that, as that one's fouled into the netting right behind home plate. The fans get a little bit of a jump out of that one. It looked like it was about to go over it. But Brenner he has 1 strikeout, but he has 3 walks, and excluding the hit by pitch.
And that strikeout will be his 4th of the season.
He definitely does not get a whole lot of strikeouts. He's definitely a ground ball guy.
Yes, he
They're going
is.
to try and steal for second. And get in there safely is Brian Bolello. So he takes Ricky or Esteban Gomez's place, because Gomez would have been out there at second base if they had not forced him out. So runners in scoring position now for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers as Kyle Figueroa gets another chance to get another RBI here and extend the lead further for his own team. The catcher having a good game at the plate as he checks his swing on that.
I feel that my score sheet for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers every single game, there's always write down steal.
Yeah, he always have to write down a lot of steals just because, like we mentioned, they're just so fast on the base paths and they're not afraid to weaponize that. We've seen multiple double steals. We've seen a delayed steal. And they even force a lot of errors because of that, like we saw in the last half inning. So 2-1 on Kyle Figueroa as he waits on the pitch. Here it's delivered. He swings and misses at that one. A big rip. He really wants to bring home Bolello from second. So it's 2-2 now with 2 outs. And he kind of half-heartedly swings at that one, protecting the plate. Fouls it into the netting, so it's going to remain 2-2.
And it looks like the Diamond Hoppers has their closer warming up in their bullpen.
As they look to close it out in the bottom half of the 9th inning if they can't drive home any more runs. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on and fouled behind home plate again. So will remain even here.
Jordan Pinnell has done a great job for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers coming in.
Yes, he has, Dan. He's gone a couple innings. And they're going to go to full count now. Yet again, another full count.
What is that, about the 200th or?
It feels like it. And Pinnell has now gone 3 innings pitched. And does a great job in relief, giving up no earned runs. And his last inning was a 1-2-3. And they're going to end up walking Figueroa after a decently long battle. So now we have runners at first and second base with 2 outs. Joe Maroney steps in for his 6th at-bat of the ball game. He started the last inning where he got hit by a pitch, and the very first pitch that Brenner threw. So I'm sure he's going to be looking to duck if it comes to that.
I would.
And the first pitch is in. He swings and misses at that one. 0-1. At least that one didn't hit him. He's got the hat trick and strikeouts today.
I like how you
0 for 4.
use that term, hockey term.
I saw the opportunity and I took it. I guess you could call it a turkey too if we're going by bowling terms. And that's going to be in there for a ball. 1-1 now. If we're talking about horse racing, you could call it a triple crown. Triple crown is also a baseball term, as I'm sure many people who are listening know. As they threaten to throw back to second, but no one's covering, so he doesn't release the ball. Runners at first and second. Hoppers lead 7-5 with 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Looking to tack on a few more runs as they try to steal, and he flies that one to center field, kind of shallow, and Brennan Raw gets underneath it, and they get out of the inning before any runs manage to score. So they threaten, and like I said, do not score. Now we go to the bottom of the 9th, last call for the Utica Unicorns, and they're going to try and do what they could not last night and walk off, but they are currently trailing. So 2 up for the Utica Unicorns is going to be Timothy Budd, the catcher, followed by Taylor Gelikowski and Luke Doyle. So we'll be back with the bottom of the 9th shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to the last call for the Utica Unicorns. Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here.
On this beautiful evening.
Absolutely gorgeous, just perfect temperature. Tori DeShazier, I can never pronounce his name.
Tory DeShazier.
DeShazier is in to close out the game with a 2-run lead for the Eastside Diamond Hoppers. Jordan Parnell was phenomenal in relief.
Yes, he was.
He went 3 innings pitched with only one hit, no runs, and 2 walks and 3 strikeouts, 1 strikeout per inning. And I have to say that's the best pitching performance we've seen all game.
Not too shabby.
Both teams going through quite a few pitchers today. 4 for the Hoppers and 5 now for the Unicorn. 5 for the Hoppers and 4 for the Unicorns.
Tory DeShazier was in on Thursday evening, and I believe he did get the save as well.
As the first pitch to Tim
For
Budd is a ball.
Yeah, it was a 3-2 final on Thursday.
He was able to get the job done, and he looks to get the job done again today. As he swings and misses at that one, a big rip, 1-1.
Dan, what's his stats? What's the Sager's stats here? Is he all right?
Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Taken for a strike, 1-2. Despite getting that save the other day, his ERA is 7.11. Good convenience store, not a good ERA, as that one's taken for a ball, 2-2. So let's hope he can repeat his performance last game and get on a bit of a hot streak. As it's 2-2 now on Timothy Budd.
Tory DeShazier out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
I've never been to Arkansas.
Me either.
Comes the 2-2 pitch, and he's going to ground that one to the gap. As Stewart tries to get to it but can't, so they're going to have one man on now with no outs in the bottom of the 9th. And the Utica Unicorns are
Threatening again.
just like they do.
But
So now Taylor Galikowski will step in for his 5th at-bat of the evening. He's 1 for 4 today with a base hit. Last time up, he flew out to center field. He is the potential tying run.
DeShazier was a free agent back in 2012 with the Kansas City Royals.
He hit some opportunity in the minor league systems, and he comes here looking to maybe recreate that.
Like many of them here on USPBL.
Meanwhile, Taylor Galikowski fouled one off, so it's 0-1 now. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It's going to be low for a ball, 1-1. Timothy Budd on first base, not really getting much of a lead. And Gomez not covering first base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Be in there for a strike. 1-2 now. Taylor Galikowski waits for the 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. He swings and misses at that one. Struck out. And so now we have 1 out with 1 on in the bottom of the 9th. And so now Taylor Galikowski goes to 1 for 5 today as Luke Doyle walks in. Luke Doyle, a lefty, following another lefty. A double play could end it here. So Gomez is playing a little bit closer to first base. Luke Doyle is 2 for 3 today. And he fouls. Oh, he drives that one down the third base line. And Gomez is going to come to third base. I'm sorry, Timothy Budd will come to third base.
Here we go again.
It's last night all over again as we have a runner at second and third, both in scoring position with 1 out. So Luke Doyle lines that one down the third base line for a double. So with one out, the Utica Unicorns look to tie this ball game. And we're going to have a meeting at the mound. And Paul Nochi is going to visit.
Just to calm him down. It looks like there's no one warming up right now in the Hoppers bullpen.
I'm not entirely sure they have anyone left for their bullpen. They've gone through 5 of their pitchers already.
Both of these teams have.
Utica Unicorns coming into this inning trailing 7-5, and with one out, they have runners at second and third. And the winning run will come to the plate, and that'll be Brandon Raw, who is 2 for 3 today. 2 for 2 technically. He has a base hit and a 2-run home run and 2 walks, one of which was intentional. So if anyone can get it done, it'd be Brandon Raw today. He is absolutely hot.
He's been hot to start the season.
First pitch to him is going to be inside for a ball, 1-0. This is getting eerily similar to last night. We're only missing one man on the base paths. Comes the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. Lots of Utica Unicorns fans here tonight, as there's every night. It seems they constantly overwhelm their opponents, and they don't agree with that strike call. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike. That one at 90 miles an hour. You could hear the slap of the leather from where that ball hit Figueroa's glove. 1-2 now. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Outside for a ball. Count is even, 2-2. Hoppers lead at 7-5. Utica Unicorns looking to tie the ball game up. They have runners at second and third with only one out. And it's 2-2 on Brandon Raw, who's had a successful night at the plate. 2 walks, 2 hits, one of which was a 2-run home run. And he swings and he grounds this one down to the third baseman. And they're not able to get him, and everyone is safe.
Here we go again, Brian.
That ball was hitting the infield, so they didn't try to score anyone. And so, like last night, the Utica Unicorns are down by 2 runs with the bases loaded. So it's going to be another edge of the seat game, it seems.
Yes. Here we go.
And I am just in disbelief. It seems fate has given the Unicorns a second chance, as they could not convert on their bases loaded opportunity in the bottom of the 9th yesterday. So now Chris Cruz will step in. He's 1 for 3 today with a base hit. That base hit came his last time up.
Everyone at the edge of their seats here at the ballpark.
A base hit could tie the ball game here in the bottom of the 9th. That ball's going to be outside, 1-0. DeShazier's got to be feeling the pressure now.
I know I would be. Would you?
I definitely would be. And these are defining moments for players, how well they perform under pressure. As they call for time, and there's going to be a meeting at the mound between Figueroa and DeShazier.
And Brian, could you have that call tonight?
I don't know. I'm not sure if
Are you ready for it?
I'm not necessarily rooting for either team, as all the teams are home teams.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what I want the call to be here. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's going to be outside, 2-0.
Let me just tell you, you had a great call to end the game yesterday.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Little Elvis there.
Very poor impression. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. He's going to fly that one high in the air. Figueroa's going to try and go over to the corner and make it out of my field of vision, but it looks like it landed in the stands. A fan made a good catch, so that's why the fans are applauding.
Ricocheted off the seat
So it'll be 2-1 now. Did it?
into the whoever caught its hands.
I couldn't see from my angle, but you're a little further to the right of me.
And like we say, you never want to be that first one to catch because it's a stinger.
Yes, and well, the chair took the stinger today.
Poor chair.
Here comes the 2-1. He drills that one down to the gap into right field, and that's going to score Timothy Budd. They're going to try and score 2 on the play, and they will tie the ball game in the bottom of the 9th inning. Wow! A 7-7 ball game.
And there it is.
So that grounding single in the gap between Gomez and Stewart in the infield gets through, and Brandon Raw or Luke Doyle and Timothy Budd will score to tie the ball game. And Brandon Raw will advance to second on the play, and Timothy Budd, and Chris Cruz will have a single. So that's going to be a 2 RBI single for Chris Cruz. So now the winning run is at the second base, and Clay Artizier steps in with 2 sac fly RBIs and a solo shot yesterday, and a chance to win the ball game for the Utica Unicorns. He's going to drill that one over the head of Cam Stewart, and they're going to send him home. He's going to be safe at home, and the Utica Unicorns are going to walk off. Wow. Bottom of the 9th inning.
There we go.
They're going to mob him at second base. Clay Artizier with 3 RBI on the day for the win.
Beautiful hit by Artizier.
What a way to end the ball game. He singles that one over the head of Cam Stewart into right field, and that's going to be it. And the Utica Unicorns are going to win this one 8-7 in the bottom of the 9th. Utica Unicorns, phenomenal comeback, and I'm just in disbelief that they were able to do that. Yesterday they couldn't convert with bases loaded, and today they were, scoring 3 runs to win the game.
The Utica fans are going to go home happy tonight. Wow.
That was quite the end to the ball game, and Torrey DeShazer is going to get the loss. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to convert the save. So, on a miraculous comeback by the Utica Unicorns, they advance to 5-4 on the season, and the Eastside Diamond Hoppers have their just 3rd loss, going to 6-3. So we're going to tally things up, and we're going to come back to you on the second exciting night in a row here at Jimmy John's Field. All right, welcome back, everyone, to an exciting night here at Jimmy John's
It
Field.
sure was.
Brian Fisher and Dan Dobler here to give you a little bit of a post-game chat in this game between the Hoppers and the Unicorns that ended in extraordinary fashion, where the Utica Unicorns walk off in the bottom of the ninth. They came in, Dan, trailing by 2 runs, and they were able to overcome that and win 7-6.
And definitely did a lot better than they did last night.
Yeah, last night, like we had mentioned many times, they had bases loaded with no outs and weren't able to convert. Today, different story. Bases loaded, they were able to drive them 3 runs to win the game.
You're always given a second chance.
It seems fate intervened on this one to give them that second chance.
How about Clay Ardis here with that great hit?
Yeah, that was actually his first hit of the ball game, but his 3rd RBI because he had 2 sac flies. And not just him, but the 3, 4, 5 hitters in the lineup for the Utica Unicorns drove in all 7 runs. Brandon Raw, who went 3 for 3, he had 2 RBI, one of which that came off the 2-run home run he hit in the 3rd inning, and he had 2 runs. He scored in the 9th inning, and he had 2 walks, so he went 3 for 3. Chris Cruz, the number 4 hitter, went 2 for 3 with 2 RBI and a walk, and then like you said, Claire Deeser went 1 for 3, but he had 2 sac flies, both for an RBI, and then the game-winning RBI single in the bottom of the 9th. And
guess who gets to win for the Utica Unicorns? Seth Brenner coming in.
yeah, Seth Brenner, who couldn't get a win to save his life as a starter, comes in and with 2 innings pitched in relief, he goes. You have the stat down there, Dan. Go ahead.
Yes, I do. He had 1 strikeout, 3 walks.
And no hits though in that span. And the Unicorns were able to overcome their 3 errors as well. A couple of those errors ended up allowing Hoppers players to score. So it's also a relief. They got to be able to cut down on those. But
Yes, definitely.
I mean, for offensive player of the game, Dan, I don't know who you choose.
It's tough.
I mean, if I'm going to cop out, I'm going to say 3 through 5 hitters because all those guys contributed.
Definitely.
I mean, Claire Deeser had 3 RBI, but only went 1 for 3. And he had a game winner though. Well, meanwhile, Brandon Raw went 3 for 3, and he had 2 walks. So it's tough to say, but so I'm going to cop out and say all 3 of those guys,
Okay.
Raw, Cruz, and Ardis,
Okay, I
are
see
your
you.
players
I see
of the
you.
game offensively.
I'm gonna go with Ardizer. I'm gonna give it to him.
All right, fair enough. Who's your pitcher of the game?
Ooh, obviously it wasn't Doyle DeShanger after he just blown that save.
Yeah, for sure.
But
it's going to hurt him.
I like Brandon Nagum today, coming in with relief. I mean, from the relief. Oh yeah, he was a starter, but he came in. He's usually a reliever for the Unicorns.
Usually he starts and he went 4 innings, which is
But
what we've seen out of him. He had 2 earned runs, but that's not terrible.
but I did like the pitching for the Diamond Hoppers. Jordan Pennell came in strong.
Yeah, he's my pitcher of the game. He went 3 innings, gave up only 1 hit, no earned runs, and 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. 1 strikeout per inning.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with him, like you did.
And he's the only pitcher in the ball game that did not give up an earned run. So I mean, it's kind of easy to pick him. The Unicorns had 11 hits and committed 3 errors, and it was just a wild ball game.
Yes, it was. It was back and forth in the beginning, and we had so many pitching changes for both teams.
So many lead changes.
And so many full counts.
It's too many to count.
Yes, and you know what? It's been a long night.
It has been. Well, Dan, what's going on the menu for tomorrow?
Well, it's an afternoon ball game. We have
35 start, correct?
Yes, definitely, and hopefully the rain holds off. We're supposed to be getting rain showers.
You see,
tomorrow.
here's your problem, Dan. You can't use the word. You can't say
Sorry.
rain.
I know they're gonna probably be covering the field tonight.
So,
But anyways, yeah, we have a great matchup for Sunday afternoon. You have the Birmingham Beavers going up against the Westside Rolling Mammoths, and then you will see the Diamond Hoppers on Monday go up against the Unicorns once again.
looking to avenge that loss tonight. That one sure stung. They have the helicopter candy drop tomorrow as well, right?
Yeah, all the kids come on out to the ballpark and enjoy some free candy and catch them at least. And then on Monday, for being Memorial Day, each fan will be given a Star Spangled Banner hat.
That's awesome.
Yes, gonna have to maybe try to get one of those.
Come in with a regular shirt on, look like
Yeah.
this fan, so I get
Yeah.
a hat.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd go over too well with our bosses.
You never know.
But anyway, from Jimmy John's Field, I'm Brian Fisher with
Dan Dobler.
Dan Dobler, yeah. There you go, bud. And it was a walk-off win for the Utica Unicorns, 8-7, thanks to Claire Geezer's RBI base hit. So tomorrow, like you said, Beavers versus Mammoths,
1:35
start. So make sure you guys tune in and show up, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.